Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Let me see your identification.
What did you say? I'll tighten those restraints. Scavenger scum.
We don't need to see his identification.
I will remove these restraints and leave the cell with the door open.
I really like that intro video. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sidebar Cantina, the podcast where we talk about Star Wars, pop culture, our mental decline, or whatever the fuck we feel like talking about. I am Mr. Jason Roscom, with me here each and every single week-ish. Every
single week that worked.
Yeah. The Cartman to my Kyle, Dave Martin.
Hi.
You were talking without the mic.
It works a lot better when the microphone's actually in front of my face.
Yes, it is.
Hi, Jason.
How are you?
Who's Cartman? I'm Cartman, right?
Yeah, you're the Cartman to my Kyle.
Right. Fucking do.
Yeah, because I don't think I'm a Stan. Well, maybe.
Maybe.
I might be a Stan.
Maybe a little bit of a Stan.
Yeah. But either way. I thought you were going to keep going.
No.
All right. So what are we talking about today? Besides the man behind the curtain.
Is he behind a curtain?
Well, theoretically.
What are we talking about? Oh no, you made some South Park references.
Yes.
So hey, look at this guy.
Who's this?
Look at this guy.
This is going to be lost on the audio listeners. Apologies.
And then we get this guy. Say hi.
What's up, everybody?
That was our good friend, Big Swede.
Big Swede making an appearance on the show, repping the Phillies today, while I rep the Eagles because it is Eagles game day today.
Yes, which means we will not be going overtime.
That is factually correct.
So, yeah, we're talking about South Park this week. Got some other stuff to talk to as well. Any last words, Swede, before we kick you out?
No, I'm good.
All right, man. Well, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, man.
Always good seeing you.
Yeah, man. Got to come on for the next one of the topics.
Yeah. Let me know. I'm always down to jump in and talk on something that I actually have some input on.
Right.
Like I said, I haven't seen this forever, so I would be no help.
Yeah.
So I would spare everyone.
Well, if you have Paramount Plus, it's on there right now. No? Okay.
Actually, too much. Too many streaming services.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's getting as bad as cable was
Oh,
yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah. It's all an evil ploy to push us all towards cable again. We're all going to end up on cable again because of it.
Gotcha, bitch.
That's right. Like Comcast, the evil genius.
Fuck Comcast, man. I can't stand that fucking company.
I know, right? But they're manipulating the shit out of us, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. So,
Well,
anyway.
enjoy the show.
See ya. Go Birds.
See you, Nick. So anyway, we talked about what we're talking about.
Yes, South Park.
The
movie.
Yes, I completely forgot to put Patreon in here because
the Patreon.
because I'm an idiot. So, and I know you have notes as well.
Patreon, and I have notes that I don't have up either. Hello.
We're so prepared always. We're professionals here.
We
at
are
Sidebar Cantina.
professionals. We started relatively on time.
Relatively. Well, we had a special guest drop by.
We did.
So,
Yeah, and of course you blamed me peeing, not that we had a special guest, but whatever.
yeah, well, I had to say something because I didn't want to spoil the surprise. All right, anyway, so real quick word about Patreon. We'd like to give a huge shout out to all of our current patrons. Frank Kalevich, Don Solsky, Helen Martin, Shotgun Mark, Nick from Sweet Studios, I almost said South and Kim. Scott and Kim from Used and Abused.
South Park and Kim.
Yeah. Catherine Rennick, Tina Land, Frederick Martin, Wally Frogmore, my wonderful mother-in-law, Patricia Goodstein, Lord Helmet Fire, The Orange and Fett Show, Carly Vickers, David Schmuck, Chantal from Pop My Culture, Kristen Roscom, Sterling Azier, Dragon Buddy, and Nicholas Schaefer. We'd like to, or if you'd like to become a supporter, you can find us at patreon.com/thesidebarcantina. Thank you again to all of our listeners and supporters. You are the reason why we burp.
37. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
That was really random.
Oh, real quick. I fucking lost the receipt. Oh my God. I think I took a picture. Did I send it to you?
No.
Maybe I sent it to Kristen. So I was buying something somewhere. I don't even remember where the fuck I was. I'll have to look at my phone and pull up the pictures. But my receipt or my total price was $37.37.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I took a picture of the receipt.
My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
And I mean, I am never, ever, for the rest of my life, going to see or hear the number 37 and not think about that.
You can't.
It's
You can't.
over.
It's like that. It's
94.
that.
94, yep.
Anything that gets close to 94
Yeah, I did
gets that treatment.
I did that with Kristen a couple days ago. She was telling me a story about something. The number 94 came out, and I'm like, 94.
94.
And I think it was like a serious topic, too.
Right.
94.
And that's how quickly he says it. And so I watched A New Hope, sidebar.
Uh-huh.
I watched A New Hope the other night.
Nice.
And I just, because I needed like something on the refresh,
Mhm.
like in my brain.
Sure.
So I put on A New Hope, and I fucking that
94.
part came on, and I'm like 94. Like we definitely do say it a lot slower.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's because, and I think it really originated with you. Because, the docking bay 94, and then you
That's
go
right.
94, and then it
94.
slowly turned
Just
into
got
this thing over the last 6 years. Where,
longer and longer,
yeah,
bigger, longer, and uncut.
that's right.
We'll do it live.
That's
94.
that's what I wanted.
But anyway, I hear you've got some notes as well.
Shout out to our fantasy sidebar. Oh, should I answer the phone? It's Kathy.
Of course. This is the point on the show where one of Dave's family members calls him on the phone.
Hello.
You're not going to put her on speaker?
Uh,
Hi, Kathy.
he said hi. You're not on speaker. I'm not going to do that to you. Okay.
He should, though.
Is everything all right?
I'd do it if Kristen called me. Don't call me, Kristen.
Okay. All right. Love you. Bye. Forgot I was doing a podcast.
Oh, God. I mean,
I know.
it's become a
I
running
know.
joke at this point,
I know.
obviously.
I know.
It's so funny. Anyway,
Kate will call next. I mean,
right. Did you finish your notes?
No, I didn't even start them.
Okay.
I said the word shout out and then burp. All right. Shout out to our fantasy football sidebar survival league. That's what I was doing. Okay. I was going to open up the sidebar survival league to see what had happened, and no, it's not going to happen. I'll look at it later. Not gonna work here anymore. So this season we have 7 players, 2 strikes and you're out until there's one last man standing or woman.
Yep.
Skocky.
Yeah.
Reading is hard.
Skocky
Wacky picks. Skocky Wacky. Scott's Wacky picks. Philly Dave's Eagles. LG's Hennifer's Minions, and audio listener Eric Benia's Ghost Patrol are all down 1 strike at the end of week 2. Damn it. Who did I pick for week 2?
Hopefully it wasn't the Ravens or 49ers.
It might have been the Ravens. I have OG's Corelli's Steelers, DB's Jar Jar's Junk, and Smirking Bear are leading the team undefeated. So stay tuned for next week's update, and I'll try to read it better the next time I read it.
Right.
I will do better.
So I actually tuned into the Ravens game at one point, or maybe I was watching highlights after a game, and one of the commentators even said, well, this is going to have a big impact on a lot of survival leagues.
Yeah, and thankfully it's a 3-strike league, so
yeah,
I'm Anyway,
all right. Is that it?
Luna Girl says I picked the Ravens, so yes, thanks, thank you for that.
Oh, we suck again.
Oh, you all suck again.
We got to do the Water Boys at some point.
Oh, we do have to do water. When did that come out?
Oh, that might be 98. But
94.
I saw something in the news yesterday. Well, you've heard that they're making a Happy Gilmore 2, right? They're getting all the living cast members back.
So I heard it like a rumor. I didn't really think it was really happening.
No, it was official. Like Adam Sandler mentioned it on social media,
shit.
I think. And they're filming it here in Jersey, in North Jersey, and they actually put out a casting call. They need like 150 extras, and I'm like, But at the end,
when?
I think it's the end of the month.
Really? The end of this? Oh, shit, I can't. There's no way.
Yeah, that's pretty much what
end
I
of the
thought, too.
fiscal year. Who the fuck?
Yeah.
God damn it.
And it's like a 2 or 3 day job. So
yeah, sorry, it ain't going to. There are going to be a lot of college kids, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, they're paying everybody like $200 or something like that. So the poors are all going to be lining up.
The poors,
Yeah.
the peasants.
Yep.
The peasants will all be out there. Like, oh, sir, can I please be part of your movie?
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing about that casting call is they wanted people in 90s attire, 90s style hair. So is it going to be like some kind of a flashback? Like, I don't understand. But
interesting.
Yeah, very. Anyway, we'll put a pin in that and discuss that a little bit
I just
later.
had a Carl Weathers. Like, I was thinking Carl Weathers all of a sudden, then it like veered. Because we have to say rest in peace, James Earl Jones.
That's right.
We skipped over that.
Well,
we did. There's like a space in the notes, and we're filling that space right now.
Right, with
a bunch of nonsense.
Patreon, Sidebar.
Right.
But now the real stuff.
Yeah, because I just thought of Carl Weathers, and you said Bob. I was thinking like Carl Weathers and Bob Barker and Norm Macdonald, who all aren't with us.
Yeah.
So they'll all be up in the sky for the one of the scenes. Is the grandmother still alive? She can't be alive.
Oh God, no way! Because again, this was 1999, and she was old as shit back then.
94.
Hold on. All right, let's do this. This is a massive sidebar we're going on here, but
we're going on a journey, folks.
Happy Gilmore. Yeah, there's no way she's still alive, but she was in a lot of shit back then.
She was.
Let's see. Okay, her name is or was Frances Bay.
Okay.
And she died in 2011.
Okay.
At the age of 92. So she had a good life.
94.
She was an actress in her old age. I don't know if she was. Hold on. When was her first movie?
It was a silent movie, apparently.
No, hang on. I'm going back. Like, I'm just curious if she's one of those people that have been in Hollywood since she was like, in her 20s.
It's like, it wasn't a movie. It was called a moving picture.
Yeah. Oh, so she actually had her first movie role in 1976.
Okay, so it wasn't that long ago. Otherwise, we'd be really aging ourselves.
I mean, that was almost 50 years ago.
Shh,
dude.
quiet, boy. Quiet.
It was the year of my birth.
Yes.
So, anyway. So, getting back to James Earl Jones.
Yeah, James Earl Jones.
Yeah,
and his passing.
Yeah, he passed last week. It's one of those real sad ones because he seemed like just a genuinely good dude.
Yeah.
And of course he had this iconic role in Star Wars, and Star Wars wasn't his only gig either. He was more like Harrison Ford than Mark Hamill when it came to like what he did outside of Star Wars, because he was in a lot of shit. I think he even won an Academy Award for something.
I don't know if he did or not. He
might have just been nominated.
So I'll tell you, some of my favorite roles that he was in besides Star Wars, outside of Star Wars.
Yeah.
He was in The Sandlot.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
It was a great role in The Sandlot.
Absolute classic, which we haven't talked about that on the show yet, have we?
I don't think so.
All right, next summer we need to do that.
Yeah. Field of Dreams.
Yep.
You had a great role in Field of Dreams.
Mm-hmm. Coming to America.
Duh.
I love that movie.
There was what was I watching? There was an overdub of. It was the Coming to America lines with Vader coming in, like when Vader comes in on the blockade runner.
Yeah.
But it's the Coming to America line, so it's like Jafar as it's coming. Dude, it's actually really good. You can find it on the internet. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh, good shit.
But so those two roles, and then what was the other one I was thinking of? Shit.
Do I have to bring up his IMDb page next?
Probably should.
All
because
right.
let's see all
Here we go.
Let's see all the good shit James Earl Jones was in. No, Hunt for October.
Oh.
Hunt for October is one of my all-time, like the one with Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
And he was
And Sean Connery, right?
Sean Connery has playing a Russian with the same accent he has for everything. That version, what's really funny, that James Greer, if anybody who like follows the Clancy series at all, for the Jack Ryan character, and there's all these iterations of Jack Ryan now.
Yeah.
And Jack Ryan Jr. and everything else. Like, I was super into those books. And when I saw Hunt for October, like, like you do if you're into reading a series or whatever, like and there's a good movie version of that person now, like when you're reading the book and you're making that movie in your head, that's the person.
You hear that voice,
right?
Yeah.
So that person now, like eternally for Admiral Greer, is James Earl Jones.
Yeah, makes sense.
Me. And so it was it's just a perfect role for him. Like I picture him leaning over and fucking turning the key to fucking detonate the torpedo, and he's like, "I was never here." It's just great. He was just a really, really just lovable guy.
Yeah. He, he even took all of his Star Wars stuff in stride. He's been on multiple TV shows where he's referenced his role in Darth Vader. One of them, I think, was the show Will and Grace. He was on that for some purpose. But he was playing himself, right? And then something happens towards the end, and he's just like, I don't need this. I've got Darth Vader money. And then he did the episode of The Big Bang Theory where him and Carrie Fisher were on it. Yeah. Which apparently was the first time they'd ever met.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, that was crazy to me that they never actually met in any of the... Well, I guess, Greer. James Earl Jones probably never really did the Comic-Con circuit.
Right. Or even like the movie premieres. Like you would think that they would at least see each other at the movie premieres, but he must not have gone.
There's probably... Yeah... I could be wrong, but there's probably some level of respect for that he had for the actors who were actually playing the roles. Like, he knew what his role was for that part.
Yeah.
Right. Being the voice. But rather than upstaging the actual actors who were on stage doing the stunts and doing the work.
Right. He just rolled into a studio and sounded menacing.
Right. Which Star Wars isn't Star Wars without him.
Oh, absolutely.
Obviously.
Not. Yeah, and you've seen those videos of when it's like the British guy under the helmet doing the Vader lines.
Oh, yeah. It's just, take them. What's prisoners, I want them alive. It's just like, and he's in the mask. I saw Ben Burt.
The sound guy?
Yeah, he was talking about how when they recorded James Earl Jones, how they put it through certain filters, and then they played his voice in like a room that had this echo. So like when he was in a room, they called it something like as part of like recording the sound.
Yeah.
I forget what they call it. Kate would know. So they take the recording and they play it in the room and re-record it so that you're actually, instead of it sounding like Vader talking into a microphone.
Yeah,
like
you actually get the filter.
Right, it actually, you're getting it through the filter, which is also into the room, and now the microphones are picking it up in the room, so when you hear it, you're hearing like the echo of it, like you would be if you were standing in the room.
Yeah.
It's a real clever way of doing it.
Oh, hell yeah.
And look, we have the benefit. We talked about this a couple years ago, I think, that when James Earl Jones basically gave his voice to Star Wars.
Yes.
Like he
recorded
a bunch of stuff, and he's like, I will allow my voice to be Darth Vader in perpetuity.
Yeah, which is awesome. And allegedly, because after he died, I looked more into that, and I guess he allowed them to use anything they can find. Not just, Disney stuff he's done, but he said anything. If there's any other way you can capture my voice from past, like Conan O'Brien appearances or something,
What have I done?
Yeah. So anyway, rest in peace, James Earl Jones. That fucking sucks, but I mean, was he 94?
94.
I don't think he made it to 94. It would have
No.
been fantastic.
Yeah, he was 90 something though.
Yeah, he was like, it was like 93 and change, or it was like 92.9 or whatever. Like
Okay.
I remember when it happened, I'm like, oh man, please let me at least be able to round up to 94 so I can
94.
make it the dedicated James Earl Jones channel.
Oh my God, James Earl Jones is dead.
94.
I hope he was 94.
Like I can't control how my brain works.
Oh yeah. Oh God, we could go down that whole rabbit hole, but let's get back on track. So, anything else to say about Mr. Jones?
Sit up real quick. Take a look at this sticker. Can you see this sticker on my?
Oh, hang on, I gotta switch back to the stream.
No.
Oh,
on my physically on my laptop. It's a rabbit going into a hole.
Oh.
You talk about rabbit holes. It's a tested sticker. Vickers, Helmet Fire, gave it to me,
Mm.
and yeah, it's for Adam Savage's tested, and it's basically it's a laptop with a rabbit with a hole in it, and the rabbit going into the hole on the laptop thing. It's like it's the perfect representation of our brains most of the time, disappearing into the rabbit hole.
Yep. Chasing squirrels. You know.
Yep.
You know how it goes.
Like you do.
All right, but anything else on
No.
him? Okay.
No, sir.
Again, rest in peace, and thankfully his voice will live on for as long as they want to keep making stuff with Darth Vader.
You'll always be the man.
Yep. That being said, you ready to get into our weeks?
Yes, let's do it.
Mine's pretty short. Ladies.
My penis is so smooth.
First of all, congrats to my son Adam. Last week he got his driver's license.
Hey!
Hey. He, he and I worked together quite a lot.
Yeah,
Like,
you worked a lot over the summer on that.
Yeah, and I could tell about halfway through that he was gonna nail this thing.
Nice.
Because he was very careful with everything he did. He really thought about everything going on around him, and I knew he was gonna blow it away, and he did. He didn't get a single mark against him.
Awesome.
So essentially a perfect score, and
Excellent.
now he's got a driver's license. And that night he borrowed my car. He asked if he could take my car out. I'm like, okay, because he just went down to like GameStop and Walmart and stuff. But he just wanted to go. And it was so funny when he came back, he had this massive grin on his face. And I'm just like, hey, what's up? And he's like, I can't figure out a way to explain it, but I just felt so alive because I knew I could just go anywhere and do anything. I'm like,
Right.
yeah. That's the beauty of getting your license.
Yeah. It's like, you feel that feeling? Yes. Now you can go get a job and get your own car.
That's right.
Like,
Well, we're eventually going to buy a car for him. But
don't tell him that. Jeez.
oh, yeah, I've already told him.
Oh, damn it. Well,
Sorry.
Congratulations, Adam.
Yeah. It was
Nicely
good.
done. No,
Yeah.
never in doubt.
Yep.
And
And
I'm glad you guys had the summer to work on that, though.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
And quite frankly, it gave me some time to just, spend time with him and talk because, he's kind of like me. He's a pretty quiet guy who, isn't too social.
Right.
But, I felt like I didn't even know him after these last couple of years because we never talked. And, it's always the bare minimum answer. It's like, hey, Adam, how was school today? Fine.
Right.
And then upstairs until dinner.
Teenage boy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it was good. It was good for both me and him. So, besides that, things that aren't so good for me is we were discussing before the show that I just, I'm on a, mental states, especially the ones that we exist in, they're like a fucking roller coaster.
Mhm.
Sometimes you have your ups and then sometimes you have your downs. And, right now I'm in a very big down. So
Right.
I'm trying to deal with it. It sucks. It just because it comes out of fucking nowhere, and you realize you can't really do anything about it. And that's what always frustrated me about when I was upset before. People just be like, "Yeah, it's okay. You'll get over it." And it's like
No,
that's not how the force works, there, champ.
That's not the language. That's not the appropriate language
Right.
to use. Like, there's no. Oh, God, I hate that. Or it's the there's no walking it off.
Right. Yeah.
I'd even accept that. Go walk it off.
Yeah.
Well, at least I'd be doing something.
Yeah.
Like-
I mean, the only walking off is me walking off of the stool that I'm standing on as I'm hanging myself in the garage.
Yeah,
but
which he's not going to do.
probably not. Anyway, so yeah, it's just been it sucks. It's kind of just engulfed me
Yeah.
completely.
Well, the good news is that you are not alone. Like we were talking before. Like I know I'm in the same trough right now, and we have people around us that care about us.
Yeah, and they understand. Like
Yeah.
Kristen, I'm sure Kathy's the same way.
Yeah.
Where they know what's going on. They know it's more than just, well, you should just be happy.
Right.
Look at all this stuff you've got. You should be happy.
Right. This is look at all the good things.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was that easy,
Right.
then like, oh yeah, look at all the good things. Look at all the good things. It's just not. It's not that easy, and unfortunately, there are people out there that have, that you would think would know better, that'll tell you that. Family members and friends that you think would have like some indication that that's not the right answer, but would still give it to you, and not understand what that impact would be. Right.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes if you don't have the right answer, you need to shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm. And half the time we're not looking for fucking answers. You know? Because
well, we're dudes. Dudes are we have a propensity to fucking try and figure this shit out on our own.
mm-hmm.
And especially like we were talking before, I know a big thing for me is I'm becoming more aware of the fact that I can't process as easily as I could when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Like, meaning that with all the shit that's going on, being able to compartmentalize and like, all right, yeah, this sucks and I feel like absolute fucking shit
Mm-hmm.
and my mental state is absolutely terrible, but I have to fucking collapse that. I have to put that into this black hole and pretend it doesn't exist so that I can function, and I'm going to pour myself into work or whatever else it is that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And expend that energy. The problem is we don't have that energy anymore, right? As we're fucking staring 50 in the face, I just have to continually remind myself that you don't have. Yeah, we're not fucking old men,
Right.
I guess, but we're also. We have to remember that we're not young either.
Yeah.
And it's a real thing, unfortunately. And this is what I'm doing in grad school, is like going in the actual physics, if you will, of why this happens and what you have to do to kind of mitigate against it. So logically, like, I know that it's happening, but it doesn't help my mental state. It's like anything else. Like, yes, here's the answer. A plus B equals C.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I see that answer. I understand why that answer is correct, but that answer doesn't make this better.
Right.
It just is an answer. Cool.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It is. It's fucking hard. And it just takes we just need that little bit of fucking, it's the push to get us heading up towards the fucking next crest so that we can fucking, we get to that next point.
Be happy for a little bit until the next drop.
Yeah, and hopefully the next drop isn't as low, but this is life right now. But and thankfully you have an appointment this week, which is good.
Yeah,
I think that'll go a long way.
And that was just a coincidence, but
hey, coincidences are, it's we're all in this cosmic walk around the fucking universe right now. So,
oh yeah,
any coincidence could be a fucking pothole in some, alternate universe.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, life on Earth is one big coincidence.
Right?
Just, like all the right things had to happen.
Right. The randomness of everything.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Well, thankfully there was a lot of everything out there because.
Yeah. Right. There's a lot of all the right things to get to this point.
Yeah. I always wonder, let's say the dinosaurs hadn't been wiped out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think any of them would have ever evolved like to have like real intelligence? Like intelligence like humans do now? Most humans.
I don't actually.
No.
I think there's I say that, and I think I'd have to really dig into my brain to give the why to that,
Mm.
to give an intelligent answer as to why. But I think it has a lot to do with the size to brain ratio. Like they would be evolving into something completely different.
Right.
It wouldn't be like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Like their diet, their physical body structure, like all those things would have to change gradually, so they'd end up being something else.
Yeah.
To gain that level of intelligence, and even then, they'd have to have a reason for it.
Yeah.
Right. I think there's a lot to be said for a reason. There's a reason that, certain things have to evolve into other things.
Yeah.
The dinosaurs, who knows? I mean, planetary changes would have happened regardless. I mean, you still would have had an ice age.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that
so-
probably would have wiped them out anyway.
Yeah, and because they are certainly not going to, they would have had to have migrated.
Yeah.
And you would have had certain species that would have migrated down to the tropics. And that would have changed how they evolved. You would have had some species collapse.
Anyway, I didn't want to go off on a huge tangent, but
Anyway, what?
we're going on all the sidebars today, but that's really it for me.
Yes.
It's not a whole lot going in my life, except I'm just trying to hold it together.
Yes, and we will hold it together.
Yeah.
For me, one of the things that I do to hold it together is I use Legos.
Yeah.
I have my Lego therapy,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I was gonna do. Shit, you dummy.
I don't know what he's talking about.
So if you're on our Discord channel, and I don't know how often you look at the Discord, if at all. There it is. Okay. So what I did for the Lego fans out there, if you already know that I built something, there's these Lego had these Star Wars micro fighters that they came out with. There was a series of these things.
How long ago are we talking?
It's been over a period of over a decade.
Okay.
So I brought some examples.
Oh.
So isn't this the greatest little bag? Look at this bag. Isn't this awesome? The John.
Oh, it's a Lego bag.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at this. It's perfect for carrying fucking Legos around.
Yeah.
It's got a little plastic bottom. It's the thing top. It's fucking great.
That's what they called me back in high school. Plastic bottom. Never mind.
That. We'll have to unpack that one later. But here's an example. Like this is the first order version, right?
Okay.
So,
Little guy.
yeah. So you have a TIE pilot that sits inside it.
He's so
And-
small.
My penis is so smooth.
This is here's one with Mando and Grogu.
So I actually have this exact set on my desk at work.
Yes.
Because last year we did a gift swap.
Uh-huh.
You you get one person and you buy him a gift for Christmas.
Right.
And the guy that got me got me this, and he 3D printed a Mandalorian helmet and painted it in 49ers colors.
What?
Yeah, it
That's
was awesome.
So this guy, that's a TIE Interceptor, right?
Yeah.
So they always have fucking like the TIE Interceptor was really the first Lego TIE fighter that they came out with. And they had a TIE Interceptor, and I'm like looking, and it's like, okay, we have TIE Interceptors. They have that. I have a TIE fucking the TIE fighter from fucking that came apart. I don't have time to put it together, but they had a TIE fighter from fucking Rogue One. The weird one with only two wings. They had that one.
Huh.
I'm like, why the fuck don't they just have a regular goddamn TIE fighter
Right.
for this? It just seems like it should have been something that they came out with early on.
Yeah.
And it bothered me. It bothered me that it wasn't there for some reason. It's just something that just kind of like it just showed up in my head that like this is this is a fail. They need to have this.
I'm sure it had something to do with the fact, especially if this is around the time Force Awakens came out, that, Disney was making a push like to put their version of stormtroopers and ships and stuff out there.
Yeah, but this had
that was a normal interceptor?
Yeah, it's a normal interceptor. It's same thing with this was
Is that Kylo Ren ship?
No, this is the Sith interceptor.
Oh,
that
that's
Maul
yeah.
had. This is more recent with the Boba Fett one.
Boba Fett. Where?
Yeah. And this is a TIE Advance. This was like the Rebels version.
Yeah.
The TIE Advance. So yeah, they're really they just don't like the fucking TIE fighter.
Yeah.
Really was what it comes down to. They're like, nah, that's like the bottom feeder of the fleet. They don't give a shit. So I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of that. I'm gonna make my own.
Okay.
Right? So I designed and made one of my own.
Oh shit!
And
you designed all this yourself?
I did.
That's so cool.
And I took what I did. I'm going to share my screen here, hopefully. And now this is version like 1.5. Because there's some stuff that I'm not super happy with structurally, but I like the smooth lines that it has. But there's structure elements that come from both of these.
Right.
From the TIE Advance, and then there's some from the Interceptor. It's because it's the same time frame. And then I like the colors and the way the pattern is, and then talk about with the grill. That was all associated with the Lego TIE Fighter from 2012, the 2012 TIE Fighter, and this is the actual Lego pilot that's in that TIE. So really cool stuff, and mock building the. You can go on like BrickLink and you can buy plans to build your own stuff.
Yeah.
Also on BrickLink, you can go to what's called Studio, and you can actually go and it's like a CAD program for Lego.
Yeah.
And you can build stuff within the CAD program.
Is that like a freeware kind of thing?
Yeah. Yeah. It's totally free.
Good.
And Lego actually bought it.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So it's Lego propriety software now.
But they let you use it for free.
Let you use it for free.
Awesome.
So I'm going to share my screen real quick, assuming that I don't fuck it up. Share. So here's a not great picture of it, but this is what happened at probably like 1 a.m. on Thursday or whatever.
When you're supposed to be writing a paper or something?
Yes, exactly. So there's that guy, and here's step 1 of how to make that guy.
Huh.
Yeah, so when you're in Lego Studio, you can actually, once you build it in CAD, like you can create the steps that will actually make these instructions.
That's incredible.
And then you can go through and put the whole thing together.
That's pretty sweet.
So they didn't have the TIE windscreen. So, but it's this inverted. If you were going to buy it, it's a 4x4 inverted radar with TIE cockpit pattern. If you search specifically for that, it'll come right up. I just happen to have one of these in my bench stock. All of this was stock.
Yeah, just parts you had.
I had all these parts.
Nice.
It's a small. It's a small build. It really isn't many parts.
Yeah.
And then, they don't have BrickLink. So it takes the part numbers and stuff from BrickLink, and BrickLink doesn't have every single part number, at least not the same way. So, for the example, these are called flick missiles.
Oh.
They didn't have the pre-assembled flick missile. So, but you can make them. So what I did is I just made them inside the thing. That's why, and then that's why you see flick missile.
Nice job.
But then at the end, here's all the parts.
Damn.
That you need to put it together. So very, very cool. And honestly, not hard to do.
So is there like a big like repository where people put all of their builds and shit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, BrickLink is just one of those that does it. I happen to have, I have all of my collection on BrickLink.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm actually trying to open up a Lego store on BrickLink to sell like parts. So like, because I have like this big tub of parts. The problem is I don't have the bandwidth to fucking actually go through and sort all of it.
Yeah.
To get to the point where it's like, okay, I have these like Sortimos. They're like this big.
Mm-hmm.
They have all the spaces, and I have enough of them now where it's probably about 5 feet tall, all stacked.
Yeah. And are you talking like with the little drawers that slide in and out?
No,
okay.
I'm talking like they kind of fold open and it has bins inside it.
Gotcha.
And I have that set up with. It's not separated by color, but it's separated by like part type. So if it's like a 2x4 plate, like all the 2x4 plates are in one container. So
it's probably the best way to organize them, honestly.
Yeah, because if
you can't get too granular.
Well, if you're looking for a part, like say you go to BrickLink and you're looking for a part and you put the part number in, because if you look on any Lego brick, you look at it, it has a part number on it.
No shit.
So you can put that part number in the brick.
Even like all the old stuff?
Yeah.
Huh.
Everything's got a number on it. Like that's how you know it's legit Lego. Like it's had the tiny
My penis so smooth.
letters on it. Like
Yeah.
I'm on there with my phone with the fucking camera at fucking 4.7, like trying to find it, but yeah, it's on there. So you can find a number and throw it into BrickLink. And it'll open up and say, okay, yeah, here's the part. Here's alternate part numbers. And then it'll show you what sets that part was in.
Awesome.
So you can click that.
Yeah.
And then okay, do you want to buy it? What color do you want to buy it in? Because each one of those has a separate color.
Yeah.
And then, all right, I want it in this color. And then it'll bring a list of like, do you want it new or used? So you can buy it from these people new, or you can buy these people used.
So you would be one of those people selling it used, I guess?
It used.
Okay.
And yeah, there's not a lot of money in it. I mean, let's face it. Where money is in Lego is in complete sets and minifigures. Minifigures is the moneymaker.
Yeah.
But it'd be a way to fucking, it'd be a way to off-gas some extra. In a way that's actually productive as opposed to just, letting it sit and collect dust or, I'm becoming a used Lego salesman. Yes, absolutely.
Seth Care Bear's comment. I'm not going to say it, but it was
No, I cannot.
Dave agrees with separating things by color. So
yes. Anyway, so that I was working on that instead of a paper. I'm still getting over being sick. This is the reason we couldn't record last week.
Yeah.
I couldn't talk. I like, it's still there. Like I still have
the aftermath.
Yeah. This little hitch in my giddy up. Like,
Yeah.
dude, my fucking, this was swollen to the point where like, if I had moved my neck like this, it was like my lymph nodes were trying to like rock'em sock'em robots with each other. It was awful.
Ugh.
So yeah, I ended up steroid, and I'm still in antibiotics, and who knows what the fuck's wrong with me. So, and it's still kind of there, but I'm obviously good enough to do some talk. Do some talk.
Yes.
I'm here to talk. Do talking. But anyway, so I got to tell you this story.
Okay.
I got to tell it for the benefit of the listening audience, and this is going to take a minute. So
strap in, folks.
Strap in. So, what would you say
Mm-hmm.
if I told you that we spent 12 hours at a vet
Oh.
and $2,300.
Sadly, I do believe it.
Yeah. So, you see what had happened was, this was on Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not this past Saturday, Saturday before. Kate had come to town, brought the dogs with her. Like the
Like
older
her
dog,
dogs she
brought her 2 dogs, and then they have my dog in the house. And the older dog has, a bunch of issues, kidney, liver stuff, arthritis, real bad.
Ugh.
She's getting older. So she's on a bunch of meds. Those medications were in a fanny pack that was in a grocery bag, which was on the kitchen counter, on the back of the kitchen counter.
Okay.
Right. My daughter's boyfriend we had dropped him off at the airport. He went to Sweden to go fucking save his project, which is a whole nother story. Which he did successfully.
We ain't got time for that shit. So.
Yeah, congrats. Like he did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
But he missed all this excitement. So dropped him off at the airport. Kate was out having lunch or breakfast or something. I think it was lunch with one of her girlfriends.
Mm.
And Kathy and I were at home. Kathy wanted to go over to Target. I'm like, okay. So but Kate was actually going to be leaving to head back to State College. Pack up
and leave the dogs there.
No, she was taking the dogs with her.
Okay.
Like they were there for a couple nights.
Okay.
So Kathy and I leave, checked everything, make sure, because the younger dog, the little fur missile, he's kind of crazy.
Fur missile. I've never heard that before.
Oh
But
my
I gotta use that.
Dude, you should see his face. He's shaped like a missile. Like he's kind of crazy, but he's great with us.
Yeah.
But you want to make sure everything's fucking put away. He'll get into the sink and fucking, but so does Holly. Like,
Yeah.
We catch Holly and she'll pull knives out of the sink.
Oh my God.
Right. We'll come in the front door and there'll be like fucking knives, like legit the fucking no shit 9-inch long knives that we're using for cutting steaks and shit
My God.
on the floor.
Is it because there was like a little food residue on it? Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And it's that looks like it's delicious. No blood or anything. Like
Thank God.
just fucking ugh. Anyway, so looked at the counters, everything looked cool in the gang. Like no food out, no nothing. I'm like, okay, cool. Whew. We fuck off to Target. It's 107. How do I know it's 107? Because I sent a text to Kate and said, "Hey, look, we're going over to Target. Don't leave until we get back."
Uh-huh.
Okay. We come back. It's 2:10.
Okay.
Get into the house. I go downstairs. I turn the corner down in the family room, and I look, and on the ottoman is the fanny pack
Oh no.
and a chewed open bottle of this medication.
Oh no.
And I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I look at it, and Kate had come home, but she'd come home and went right upstairs. She didn't see the downstairs bit. And of course the downstairs, like the dogs are like, phew, and
Oh yeah.
dogs do bad things.
When they know they've done something bad.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So I'm looking, and I look at the medication. I'm like, I start looking around to see if I can find some, if there's any laying around.
Mm-hmm.
I call my daughter down, and she looks at it, and she's going, uh-oh. I'm like, well, how much was in there? She's like, I don't know, like half. I'm like, I mean, it's one of those big pill bottles like this.
Oh fuck. And it was empty?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. It was chewed like And we know it's the fur missile because the bite marks are so fucking like everything was so
My penis is so smooth.
so smooth. So we're like, okay. Yes, my dog uses 9-inch knives. She's got Staffordshire Terrier in her, which is AKA pit bull. So anyway, yeah, she's from the streets. So I'm like, okay, get Kathy downstairs. Like she gets on the phone with poison control for animals, and I get on the floor. I'm looking for the rest of the medication that was in that thing because I'm like, all right, well, what else to get into? That rest of the medication was scattered. Like it was all under the
bottles
couch.
were scattered, or the
bottles
pills?
were.
Okay,
the
thank
bottles were. So they're all scattered, and I couldn't find I couldn't find not even one of those fucking pills.
Wow.
So chewed it open and then ate everything clean. So as it turns out, this particular medication apparently is delicious, and this is something that is a problem that dogs will like actively attempt to get into the bottles to get this fucking
and
medication.
I'm assuming they made it that way to help make the dogs take it easier,
Right?
type thing.
Right.
Yeah, because getting dogs to take pills if they don't want to is
it's
a challenge.
horrific.
Yeah.
And so now, all right, we don't know. The problem is we don't know which dog did what. There's no like clear chain of evidence that says that this dog ate all of it.
Right.
So we have to assume that all dogs got into it. But we were fairly certain that the older dog didn't get into it, but you don't know for sure. And if she did, like the toxicity of this medication, like when we looked online, it was like if you had, for the smaller dogs, they have 2 of those pills, it's deadly. Like that's how the toxicity is.
Fuck.
And for Holly, she's a 72-pound dog.
Yeah.
Right. 3 of those could kill her.
Oh boy.
Right. So it is one of those scary things. So like, okay, now we got hydrogen peroxide, and they're like, okay, let's get them to start throwing up. Oh my God, they did not want to do that. They're like, no. They're like, this is the worst ever. They don't want to take any hydrogen peroxide. No vomiting had occurred. So we're like, okay, let's get to the vet, and let's get this moving. Still on hold with the animal poison control. Again, it's a Saturday afternoon. So called up one vet urgent care. They're like, if they need to be on IV or anything like that, we can't do that. You're going to have to go to like the ER. So you're better off just going there straight away. We're like, fuck. Okay. So turn around while we're still driving. And of course, like we've had beautiful weather like these past couple weeks.
Yeah.
Right. It's been pretty nice.
Oh yeah.
We had one day when it rained. Remember what day that was? I'll give you a hint.
The day you
took
the dogs to the
Yes, it was Saturday. So it starts pouring rain.
Mm-hmm.
As we're driving to the fucking Mount Laurel Animal Hospital.
Yep.
Drive up there, and we pull up. Still haven't, like, poison control, still on hold. And the bitch of it is, the vet, and I don't know if it's like this everywhere. I'm hoping it's not, but it probably is.
Mm-hmm.
The vet won't do anything without talking to the poison control. Like, because we've had this incident before, like when Holly got into all the chocolate. Like,
oh yeah,
they were like, oh, we have to have this basically this job control number from fucking poison control so that we can get the information from them. Like, what? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me, especially if we know exactly what kind of medication it was. Like, yes, we don't know the dosages, but
you've got an idea for what you're dealing with,
right?
Here.
Is the result going to be different? Like, so anyway, we end up hanging up on poison control and fucking. We get to the animal hospital. Shenanigans are ensuing. By the grace of God or whatever, the one of the technicians, the emergency room technicians, happened to be somebody that Kathy and I knew from church like eons ago, and he was on the West Coast for a while, and he's just recently back on the East Coast. So Kathy runs into him, like, "Oh my God, we're here, pills, the things." He comes out. Now, Fur Missile is not good with strangers at all.
Oh,
like,
no.
not good. Like, really not good. Like, super aggressive. Because they're strangers. And he apparently at the vet, when you have a dog that's like not cooperative, like it elevates things. I don't even want to begin to get into that. So anyway, we're out in the car still, and so he's like, "Okay, well, let me go in, and all right, we need to get them weighed, right?" So we one at a time we had to go in into the vet, get them weighed, then come back out to the car and wait.
Oh, jeez.
Right. Clock's running. Okay. When we got to the vet, it was 2:40.
Yep.
Right. 14:40. Remember that time. So all this is happening. Chris, who's the technician, goes in, finds out okay, there hasn't been any, we can't make these determinations. He goes back, talks to a doctor like off to the side. They get these eye drops. Okay. So apparently you can use these eye drops that will make dogs vomit.
Oh.
Have you ever heard of this?
No.
Okay. So 2 drops in each eye, right? And then the dog it'll induce vomiting, which is a lot easier than trying to get them to do the hydrogen peroxide, right?
Absolutely.
So as easy as it is to get fucking dog. Like dogs are children. They fucking wiggle. They don't want shit in their eyes. Who does?
No.
So we wrestle these things drops into their eyes. And I asked Chris, I'm like, "Hey dude, how long do we have before this starts to work?" He says, "Oh, about 30 minutes. I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to go take a shit." So I go into the building and I take a shit. I'm in there for 8 minutes.
Uh-huh.
I come outside, it's Vomageddon. And that's Kate's word, not mine.
Good word, though.
Yeah, perfect word for the fucking moment. So the dogs were in the car.
Oh, no.
Like, her dogs were in the car. Holly was outside.
Uh-huh.
And so when the vomiting started, it started in her car.
Oh, no.
And so they start vomiting. They get him out of the car. And unfortunately, Sammy, who's the older dog, right, we are 99.9% sure didn't get into the medication, but has to suffer through all this anyway.
Mm.
She's like 14 years old. Like, she's an older dog. And unfortunately, this is like, now she's throwing up. We forced her to throw up. Now, then she was like throwing up and she's shitting at the same time. Like, she doesn't know what orifice to come out. It's like she's kind of walking into it, and it's like she looked like she was going to die. Like, she looked like death. It was awful. But dogs are vomiting everywhere. It's fucking all. We're out in the parking lot, and they can't. None of them would vomit on the grass or anything.
Right.
It's on the sidewalks, in between the cars, like
no.
So I tried to get Holly across the street. So she vomited 3 times going across the street. And of course, like, you would think, oh, we're going to sort through the vomit and find some of the materials, right? And we make a decision like, oh, this is how much they got. No. Nothing. You couldn't see shit, because apparently this fucking drug, it's like, my daughter kept saying, it looks like kibble. And I'm looking at this puke, and I'm like, that description is not helping us right now.
Right.
Because if I'm looking at puke and there's a bunch of kibble, because that's what our dogs eat, I need more information.
Yes.
More. So, because it's like soft like the kibble is, and if they've processed it anymore, then it's going to be it's the same exact thing as the kibble. So none of the vomit actually gave us any information at all.
Oh, shit.
It just made a giant fucking mess. So Vomageddon is happening. It's a goddamn shit show, literally, for fucking Sammy. the technician comes back out and he's like, okay, we have a shot that'll make them stop vomiting. I'm like, all right, well, can we do that?
What was the plan before that?
I don't know.
Just to let them vomit and shit until
they're dead, I guess. I don't know. Well, and again, remember, we're out in the parking lot. The technician we're dealing with is just like somebody we know.
Yeah.
If we didn't know him, we probably wouldn't have even been seen yet.
Right.
And we're several hours into this now.
Uh-huh.
Several hours.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay. He goes away. He comes back out. And he comes out with the shot. And bang, bang, bang. Gives him a shot in the ass. Immediately shuts them off. It was like a switch. Very, very strange. Just for them to all of a sudden just be like, no, all right, we're not throwing up anymore. Just like, I don't know how much that just cost me.
Right.
I'm glad they're not throwing up, but
I might throw up when I look at the bill.
right. It's So, okay, they stopped throwing up. We're looking at the vomit, getting nothing out of it. Cool. Now what are we waiting for? All right, well, we're waiting for the doctor. We did finally get hold of poison control at one point because we had to call them back and then stay on hold forever. Finally get hold of them and explain to them, look, we have a general idea how many pills there were. Here's the dosage. We don't know how much one or the other would have gotten or whatever. So they took all this vague information, and apparently the vet needs this vague information to be able to make any kind of decision. So he calls us at some point. It's dark now. Right, it gets dark at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, what time do we get there, kids?
14:40.
Yes. So it's dark now. We're like, we still haven't gotten into the building yet. And so finally, the doctor calls and says, "Okay, my recommendation is that they come in, we get blood work, we give them fluids, and they stay overnight." And we're like, that seems silly, like. And activated so we were like, how about, okay, blood work makes sense, right? You want to see what their liver and kidneys are doing and shit like that, because this could shut down their fucking kidney function. So we're like, yeah, we get it, blood work, but give us the activated charcoal. Like if you've ever had a dog that has like swallowed a bunch of shit, or a cat, probably, like, activated charcoal is something that they can take to help absorb some of the fucking poison. We were under the understanding that you had to do that with within 6 to 7 hours, or it would be ineffective.
Yeah.
So when we were sitting there waiting, we're in our 5th, going into the 6th, 7th hour, and we're like, okay, when are we going to be able to do this thing with the activated charcoal? I was like, oh, well, I got to get hold of poison control. And like, well, it doesn't make any sense to do activated charcoal because we're already past 6 hours. Like, oh, no, it's good. It's good for 8 to 10. Okay. All right. So get off the phone. Still waiting in the car. Get back. Something happens. I honestly forget what happens. But we finally get into the building. It's like 10 o'clock. We get into the building.
God damn.
Nurse comes out, says, "Okay, get you into a room." Theo goes into one room because he's active. He goes into one room with Kate, and we go into another. Kathy and I go in the other room with Sammy and Holly. Right? They haven't had anything to drink at all, even though we had Vomageddon. Nothing to drink, nothing.
Now, was that intentional? Did the doctor say don't give them anything?
They hadn't said any. Like, the only thing he said to us on the phone hours before was like, "Oh, get them on fluids or whatever." But at this point, and the only one it would have made sense with, if they were going to have to sedate Theo, the active dog, then they don't want him to have fluids, because just like with humans, they don't want you. They don't want you to drink anything for 12 hours before they put you under.
Yeah.
Same shit. So, okay, I get it with him, but these other two dogs, the older dogs, let them fucking, can we get them something to drink?
Yeah.
Like, they've just been vomiting pretty severely. And if they're ate a bunch of shit they're not supposed to, they probably could use a drink, start flushing shit out, you would think, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Or if you really believe that they should be on IV fluids, then why aren't we doing that?
Yeah.
Instead of being on hour 10. And so now we're sitting in this fucking room where there's no air moving in this room.
Ooh.
They're both, and Holly is a farter. Holly and Sammy both have gas issues.
A lot of dogs do.
Yes, and
Mine as well.
when you're in a confined room with no air moving with 2 dogs with gas issues, it's unpleasant.
It probably doesn't help that they both puked and shit their brains out earlier.
Yeah. So we're uncomfortable. Kate, for her credit, she's got the lights down. The room she was in actually had air conditioning. So when I actually sat in there to babysit the dog for a minute so she could go to the bathroom, I was like, oh, this is actually kind of nice in here. But finally it got to the point. It finally gets to the point where Kathy's pissed off, right? Kate and Kathy both. Like, Kate goes out, she talks to somebody, and Kate's maintaining an even strain, right? She's pissed, she's upset, but she's used to dealing with crisis because, she's a social worker. So her life is dealing with crises.
Yeah.
So she's dealing with it really well. Meanwhile, Kathy and I were both fucking tired. Like, Kathy has to deal with me, and I'm ready to enact violence. Like, I'm holding it in because I'm afraid if I say something, we're going to be on the news.
Yeah.
So, but we got to a point where finally Kathy's like, this is fucking ridiculous. So she goes out and she creates a fucking huge shitstorm out there.
Ooh.
And I'm sitting in the room and I can hear it going on. And I'm like, thank God. Thank God. She's going out there. She's stirring shit up, and I don't have to. So, perfect.
I'm sure she did that on purpose, too.
Oh, no. I think at this point, she was genuinely fucking pissed off.
Oh, yeah.
She was pissed off that dogs are fucking sitting here dehydrated. She's pissed off that we've been sitting in a room being ignored for so long.
Right.
Yeah, it was just not a good experience. So finally, when a doctor does show up, and the whole thing with blood work and everything starts to go, the doctor that came in, the doctor that came in later, the first doc that we saw was, this Good Doctor, the show, The Good Doctor. Like you have this like autistic kid or autistic guy that's like a doctor, and he's kind of weird, but he's really good at it. So
Dr. House?
No, it's a different kind.
Oh.
Like, this guy was just like, I wanted to give this guy a swirly. And Kathy even said that, like, she just wanted to, she did not like this guy. The woman that came in later, much later, was perfect. She communicated with us and actually was getting things done. Get the blood work done, had to sedate Theo. Every fucking vet tech that was in there at that point was some pregnant lady. So, like, I had to pick this basically dead dog up off the ground, which they suddenly weigh a lot. It doesn't matter what size they are. They suddenly weigh a lot when they're like,
yeah,
they're all rigid or, like sack of potatoes. So they take him back, get his blood work, bring him back. And now that we have to wait for the blood work. And at this point, I had gone out to the car and got my collapsible fucking silicone water bowl, stuck it in my pocket, came back in the room. I'm like, these dogs are getting water.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Like, they can come in here and say, oh my God. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Fight me. I don't fucking care. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
So finally get the blood work done. And of course it comes back and it's like, well, it's slightly elevated. So we can't say definitively if like for Holly, for my dog, whether she did or she didn't get into it. It could be elevated because of all the stuff that's happened today, or it could be elevated because she got into the medicine. We're like, this is not useful at all.
No.
So we're like, all right, and then went through this active charcoal regimen, which now at this point they're telling us, oh, it's still good after 12 hours.
Boy, it went from 6 to 12.
Yes. So wow, this is fucking awesome. Which, to Sammy and Holly, that activated charcoal mixed with some fucking wet food was delicious.
Oh, I
Ate
bet.
the shit out of it.
Yeah.
It looked fucking horrific. Like it's basically tar. Yeah. So they ate that, and then finally we were like packing it up. Theo came too. Get out of there. Get in the car. Drive away. Get out of the parking lot. 02:30.
Fucking hell.
And then so we left there. We had a bunch of medication we had to give the dogs because they weren't sure what was one way or the other, and they're like, "Oh, you got to bring him back in 24 hours, and again in 48 hours." Like the fuck I will. Like I'm pretty sure that if my dog's asymptomatic in 48 hours from having these liver issues, then I'm going to bring my dog in for a regular follow-up visit and then call it good.
Yeah,
because I can read the internet. The crisis was over in the 12th hour when you obviously didn't give a fuck about it.
Yeah.
And you made a point to tell us that, oh, well, it's just like a human hospital. There's a priority for dogs that come in. And you know what? It's a fair statement. But in a human hospital, if I show up and I'm not in a waiting room, they put me into a room, then I'm going to have fluids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have at least an initial. Here's my blood pressure. Here's some IV fluids. You're going to get an initial assessment as soon as you get put in a room.
Right.
Right. If you weren't ready to be able to fucking do that, then I should have had the option to leave.
Yeah.
Like, here's this stuff. Go home. Here's what to do next.
Yeah.
Not sit here and wait for us to ignore you for fucking 6 hours. Like, it's the timing of the whole thing. The lack of, there was no peeking in the 2 times that somebody poked their head in, it was like, oh, we're just, really busy. Like there was,
of course.
No, it was fucking horrific. And the fact that 12 hours went by and it cost for all 3 dogs, it was $2,300. So we basically went to Disney World and we had, the hotel rooms were awful.
Yeah.
The food sucked. And 0 out of 4 stars. Would not recommend. So that was my Saturday last. And I was still I was sick, still didn't have my voice sick. I just started the antibiotics and shit.
Right. Ugh.
So by the time Monday came around, I was toast. So anyway, I know the story took a long time to tell.
Yeah, I was just about to get a picture of the Wrap It Up box.
Yeah.
From Chappelle's show.
And there was more nonsense that happened during it. But the moral of the story is don't be a victim. If you're in this situation, and honestly, even with a regular doctor, or a hospital or whatever, sometimes you just have to go out there and be a pain in the ass. I get it. It's not, that doesn't mean be a jerk off.
Sure.
Which is why I didn't say anything, because I would not have been able to not be a jerk off.
Oh, we know.
So better off me not saying anything at all and sparing everyone, because it would be unproductive. So, but stop fueling my silent rage and actually be your own best advocate when you're in those situations. And when you piss my wife off, you've gotten to a level of shenanigans that is pretty epic.
Yeah.
'Cause my wife can tolerate a lot. And for her to get to that point where she goes out there and she gets everyone fired up, You've gone there. You've gone there.
Mm.
So anyway, that was my weekend last week.
I'm sitting here thinking too, God, I hope that's all he has.
That's it. That's all I had.
All right. Well, we need to get into our main topic. So do you need a break or anything before
No,
we
I'm
do?
good.
All right, then let's do it. So
Let's get into something that doesn't involve fucking dogs and vets.
yeah, I don't like fucking dogs.
That's good.
So South Park, bigger, longer, uncut. Let's take a trip back to 1999 again
99.
because we had a lot of anniversaries happen
Yeah.
this year from
And
'99.
It's a big year for movies.
Well, I mean, I've said it before on the pod. Like 1999 is like one of my most favorite years of my whole life, because there's so much going on, and we're gonna do the music of '99 soon.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, a lot of shit going on. And before we actually get to the movie, let's just talk about the South Park phenomenon that happened in the late 90s.
Right.
Like, I don't know how plugged into it you were, but
Well, we talked about when South Park first came out, right?
yeah, I think we watched the first couple episodes.
Yeah, in that 96 time frame.
Yeah.
Right? Because
I think it might have been end of 96 or beginning of 97.
might have been beginning of 97 because it was 97 because I was in Keesler
Oh, okay.
when it first came out because that's when I started watching it. It was in Keesler, and it just grew from there. But you're talking from 1997 when it hit the streets to now in 1999, you have a feature length movie,
Yeah.
feature length musical.
Oh, and in my research, I found out why they made it a musical
Okay.
as opposed to, just a regular movie, because they were still working on seasons 2 and 3 of the show, and they didn't want the movie to just seem like a longer episode of the show. They wanted something for it to be different. So they went with the musical aspect.
I can buy that, but I buy it, but I don't, because these are the same guys that did Broadway musical.
True.
They did a Broadway musical. They
The,
got a Tony Award for it.
The Mormon one, right?
Right, Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
Right. They were closet like songwriters. Like
Probably.
they wanted badly to fucking have their own stage show and everything else. And dude, it's a great fucking musical.
Yeah.
Like if you just take out the animation, like a crappy animation, right? The animation's all crappy. If you take that out, right? Because this movie is the circa 1997-98 animation, right? It's
Yeah.
the old school fucking. It's obviously not computer animated.
Yeah, I think they were close though. I think they were close to having it be more CG than
They had
actual cutouts.
I think they had a lot of CG in it, like with especially like in
oh
Hell,
yeah, little boy, you're going to hell.
and that had to be actually Metallica, right?
So that's the thing. I don't know if I knew this back in the day or not, but as I'm watching it recently here. By the way, when I watched
Skipping way ahead, by the way.
Yeah, when I watched it this last weekend, this was the first time I'd seen it in well over 10 years.
Wow.
But I had seen it a shitload of times during the time it came out, and it came out on DVD and all that. And then I had this long gap where it never came up. So, I'm seeing things a lot differently as I'm watching it now. And the Hell part comes on. I'm like, that's James Hetfield. Is this a Metallica song? Because I don't remember hearing that it was. Apparently, it's just him singing in an uncredited role. They never acknowledged that it was actually him in that role.
And there's a handful of those in here.
Yeah.
Like the Clooney role.
Oh,
Although
yeah.
they give Clooney a credit, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot. It was a phenomenon, and
South Park in general was.
Yeah.
Because the
it's so much fun.
merchandise was everywhere.
Mhm.
They had a million fucking T-shirts. They had all kinds of fucking stuffed animals, toys, fucking
Right.
you name it. They had merchandise for it. They took it right out of the page of George Lucas's
That's right.
biography.
Merchandising.
Yeah.
Where real money for the movie is made.
Oh yeah.
And when this came out, I didn't see it in the theaters. I think the first time I saw it was on
DVD. Okay.
Because in 99, you talk about it, being that year, like 99 was a big year for me for my military career because it's the year I deployed. We got activated for the Bosnia stuff.
Yeah.
I got to stand security guard for a bunch of fucking refugees. I got hired into my active duty job, which I was in for the next fucking 2 decades.
Yeah.
And that all started in 99. Oh, and by the way, my daughter was born.
Oh. So lots going on.
Yeah, so a lot was going on that year. But yeah, I started in debt in 99. So ironically, it was my first day at work I missed.
Because of Kate?
Because Kate was born.
That's
that
right.
day.
I think you've told that story before.
Yeah. So in 99, seeing it on DVD, I guess. When did it come out on DVD?
I think it was later in the year. It came out in June, and then I think the DVD was like November, like end of November.
That makes
kind
sense.
of time frame.
That makes sense because I'm pretty sure I saw it when I was on alert.
Okay. Yeah, good time to watch a shitload of movies and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just for anybody who doesn't know, who wasn't around back then, South Park was fucking big. It was huge, especially with people around our age. You know, because like there's watching it now, I'm like, oh, that's a Gen X thing right there. Oh, that's another Gen X thing, and I've got them in my notes too. So, you know, it's a great snapshot of the time, also with all the references and everything. And I'm just watching. I'm like, God, this movie was so fucking good.
Yeah, it's still good.
Yeah,
I think it's still good.
Oh yeah, no, I believe it too. Like when I watched it for the first time last weekend, I laughed out loud quite a few times.
Yeah, there was. I also laughed out loud a few times, and I'm sure we'll talk about it. There's a couple of spots where it's
somebody else calling you.
It was John texted.
Oh,
yeah, there was a fucking completely derailed me, John. Damn it. What was I saying? I don't either. Moving on.
Anyway, so we'll just start hopping into stuff.
Yes,
yeah,
it
came out June 30th of 99. It had a budget of $21 million, and it ended up pulling $83 million at the box office, so it was profitable. And, you know, looking at inflation and everything, back then, like, the best movies, like the big event movies and all that, they made like 100 to 200 million back in the day. So 80 something for this, you know, cheap animated movie was pretty good. And I think some of the hype had, you know, died down a little bit at this point. But yeah, I mean, South Park was still going strong. And
they had to have made a shit ton of money on the fucking DVD sales.
Oh God, yes.
Like, just insane amount.
Yeah.
I mean, because
I owned it. I bought it the day it came out.
Yeah, I have the DVD. I have the fucking. I watched it on Apple because I have the movie. I purchased it.
Yeah.
Through Apple because I couldn't find it streaming. I don't have Paramount.
Well, now you have it forever.
I do. Well, allegedly.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have a lot bigger things to worry about if Apple ever goes under. So.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah, we were talking about the DVD, and then I was going to say something, and now I forgot.
Yeah, see, it's catching.
God damn it.
Damn it.
Anyway, that's what it was. So, yeah, I bought the DVD the day it came out. I bought the soundtrack right after the movie came out because, you know, obviously musical, it's full of songs.
Right.
And, you know, they haven't, you know, shied away from songs before in South Park. I mean, you got Chef, who, like, seems to have a song every other episode, especially in those early ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I owned the Chef Aid South Park album as well.
Chef Aid, that's right.
Yeah, and of course I got the soundtrack for this, which I think I still have somewhere. But yeah, so they got me with that. And now, like, did you own the soundtrack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it in the sacred CDs?
I don't know. I'll look while you're talking.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll get distracted again.
And yeah, like there were so many fucking good songs on that soundtrack. And we'll talk about a lot of them as we go through the notes here. And while Dave's flipping his thing. So what I did is as far as making my notes go, doing the same thing that we did for Anchorman, where I watched it again and took notes. And I essentially took notes of my favorite jokes in chronological order. And then that'll help us kind of like just get through.
Let's hear the sound.
Nice.
Sound that all Gen Xers know.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, all the books are out. Shit.
Anyway, so are you ready for me to get started?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, so my first note is, and this is during the opening song when Stan's singing about the quiet mountain town, when they grab Kinney, and yeah, and he's trying to leave the house, and his mom's like, "No, you have to go to church." And he's like, "Come on, I really want to go." And then she's like, "Okay, but when you die and go to hell, you can answer to Satan."
Okay.
Yeah, and then a pause. Okay. That's another thing about this fucking movie. Their timing on a lot of these jokes is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Like just like 1/2 a second more or 1/2 a second less, and it wouldn't have been as funny. Like they did so good with the timing.
Yeah,
on this.
I mean, I know it's jumping ahead, but like when Kyle's hacking the computer,
yeah,
and
I'm going to talk about that too.
And Cartman and Stan like are just looking at each other.
Yeah,
like it's just the small things.
Oh yeah, and there's so much stuff going on in the background and everything else that like this would be like a 3-episode podcast if we were to break it down that granular.
Break it down.
So and then during that same song, my favorite line from the song itself is, "Off to the movies we shall go, where we learn everything that we know, because the movies teach us what our parents don't have time to say." And that is so fucking Gen X,
Oh my God,
man.
look at that spider.
Can we forget about the soundtrack and just kind of focus on the podcast, Dave?
Fuck that spider. Did you see that thing?
No.
It's like fucking that big.
Okay.
Living in the.
Anyway.
I hate spiders.
So, yeah, like that was because, again, us Gen Xers, we grew up essentially on our own.
Yeah.
No parents around, fucking just wandering out wherever and
well,
doing what. And I hate to say it. I hope my mom's not listening, but it was kind of shitty on their parts to do that because we're all still dealing with a lot of ramifications from our growings up. But either way, I love the fact that they threw that line in there because, again, it so much reflects what we lived through growing up. Nothing to say?
It also leads into when they get to the window and this is a rated R movie and like I'd like 5 tickets to
Asses of Fire.
Asses of Fire. No.
Yeah, because it's like the finale of the song, and
Right.
Give me 5 tickets for the thing. No, and then like stops.
Right. And you're back in the day, a rated R movie. Like I remember, people legitimately would get stopped.
Yeah,
it was like trying to get into a bar before you were 21. It was a thing.
Yeah. Well, and it was a thing because we had parents like Kyle's fucking mom who were obsessed with the fucking the censorship, the bad words, the fucking, everything.
Right.
And
explicit lyrics on, you had to have stickers on
because a bunch
shit.
of fucking parents complained. So, like, it was required that all soundtracks with any profanity had to have that fucking sticker.
Because obviously cursing is the bane of our existence.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, that's where everything went horribly wrong.
Right. Well, and anyway, but yeah, the talking to the guy was funny. And then next on my notes was when they're watching the movie and they're talking, they haven't started singing yet, and they're just like, one joke farts on him, another joke farts on him, and everybody else in the audience is like, what the hell? But the kids are all like, where do they come up with this stuff?
I know. All of the before it even gets to that, like, we get the animations all crappy before they get to the homeless guy.
Yeah.
Like, I use that animation as crappy
you've
line a billion fucking times.
Oh yeah, you've used it a lot on the pod here.
The animation's all crappy.
Yeah, and that's another thing because they're kind of pointing the finger at themselves.
Right.
Like, South Park is Asses of Fire in the real world, you
Right.
know? And, you know, it's the same way that people reacted to it back then because, fucking the parents hated South Park
Oh, God, yeah.
back in the day.
Like, how many times did they say fuck in this movie?
I think it was a record for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say fuck a
Fuck,
lot.
fuck.
I know. Oh, God, I love it. I fucking love it.
Yeah. And then, of course, as the crowd's leaving the movie theater, you get the great line, "What garbage?" Well, what do you expect? They're Canadian.
Right.
And it's like, there was no beef with Canada ever.
Which
you know?
makes it that much better.
Yeah.
Like-
yeah. Like, I don't remember a single American ever saying, like, "Oh, fuck Canada. They're beady eyes and flapping heads."
Yeah, until dude stands up there. Fuck Canada.
Yeah.
Hey, fuck you, buddy.
Yeah, so it was that whole concept was hilarious as well. And then of course again they just, what do you expect? They're Canadian. And that's also when I mentioned the timing is so good in this movie. I wrote a note about that. They came back, they told all the kids and everything, right? Like all the other kids like hear them cursing and shit at the pond there that they're ice skating on. And
You get the like chirpy kid music.
yeah. But you know, after they tell everybody about what's going on, they're like, "Oh, we got to go see the Terrence and Phillip movie too. Okay, let's go." Brrr. Everybody goes away except for Cartman and Kenny, and they're just standing there for a second in silence. And then he says,
I hate you, Kenny.
"Yeah," just out of nowhere.
Kenny goes,
and again, such good timing on that, right?
No, why does anybody? Why? It really makes you wonder, like, why does anybody like Eric Cartman? Like, why do they hang out with him?
I don't know. I mean, I love him as a character.
Oh yeah,
but
respect my authority.
But yeah, no, the way he treats everybody else in the show, you'd think nobody would want anything to do with him.
I'm looking up how many times fuck was said in South Park the movie.
Okay. We go back to the class. The kids are all in class now with Mr. Garrison, and he asks, "Okay, children, tell me what's 5 times 2?" And the kid's like,
12.
12? Okay, now let's get an answer from someone who isn't a complete retard.
Right. And it's so the word, because the word retard is so passé now.
Yeah.
Right. It's it's flat out verboten.
Oh yeah.
That hearing it was so jarring. It's just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
and the fact that it was in a feature-length movie.
The word retard is harsher to me than any of the other fucking profanity.
Right.
I seriously
don't get raping shit eater.
I seriously doubt Mr. Garrison said, "Eat penguin shit, you ass spelunker."
What a fucking line.
What a great line.
Oh, and of course, right before they get sent to the counselor is when they start cursing in front of Mr. Garrison. This might be my favorite exchange in the whole fucking movie.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Because, like they're talking and then one of the kids says, "Don't call me fat butt fucker," or whatever.
No, it's between Kyle and Cartman.
Right. Because, they're arguing back and forth. And then one of them slips a fuck or something in there.
Right.
And then Mr. Garrison's like,
you butt fucking Jew.
Yeah.
And then Garrison's like, "What did you say?" And Cartman's like, "Jew?"
Yeah. Another great line. And then, he's like,
No, you can't say fuck.
Yeah, no, he's talking about fuck. You can't say fucking school, you fucking fat ass. Kyle! Why the fuck not? Eric! Dude, you just said fuck again. Stanley! Fuck! Kenny!
Yeah.
And that was the best.
But you know exactly what it was.
And just the fact that he just said it, because like everybody else was doing it, was Kyle!
Because why
Stanley!
the fuck not? What's big fucking deal, bitch?
Yeah, then he's like, fuck! Kenny! I fucking love that line.
How would you like to go to the principal?
Oh, that was even better. How would you like to go see the school counselor? How would you like to suck my balls?
What did you say? I'm sorry. How'd you like to suck my balls, Mr. Garrison?
And again, the pause there.
I love that line. I love that line. It lives in my head rent free.
Yeah.
When there's shit going on and where I just want to have the microphone out and go, "How'd you like to suck my balls, Mr. Garrison?"
And for being just like paper cutout characters, the emotions that they put on their face is great because it's just Garrison just standing there, just What, jaw wide open, and you know exactly what's going through his head.
It's a, and then when he gets to in Mr. Mackey's office, like okay, and I seriously doubt. I seriously doubt. He said, "Eat penguin shit, you ass spelunker."
Yeah, so good.
Oh, and then fucking Sheila Broflovsky.
Yeah, she's the first Karen.
Kicks the fucking door in. Blam!
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. So what's really funny, there's a couple of things to note, and I'll say it now because I'll forget later. She starts off, even in the entry song, as like being bitchier than she ever was in the show.
Yeah,
right.
And you know she's kind of foreshadowing where her character's going.
It's almost like there's a line said later, but when Garrison's talking about throwing in his lesson plan, but I'm sure we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, well, I think that was there's one scene before that I wanted to talk about before we get to that one.
But what I wanted to say was they made it a point to like make her like extra like fucking aggressively bitch. Like really bitch.
Yeah, more than the show for sure.
Right. And then note Randy Marsh is non-existent.
That's right.
Like Randy Marsh is such a huge part of South Park.
Yeah, now he is.
And I mean
back then he was kind of so-so. Like his character really didn't start to grow until like second, third season and beyond.
But in this, I think he has like 2 or 3 lines. Like one of them was
I don't know if he did.
No, he had a line during the V-chip thing.
Oh.
And then he had a line when he was in uniform.
Oh, right.
They had another like real throwaway line. But yeah, Randy Marsh isn't a character at all.
Yeah.
Like the wife is. So I just watching it now, I guess with the benefit of hindsight and knowing that Randy Marsh is probably next to Cartman is the best character in this fucking show.
Yeah.
And granted, I haven't really watched the show religiously in a long time.
Oh yeah, same here.
Yeah, but I know Sheila. They wanted right from the jump to make it like, okay, you think you know her as being like kind of a pain in the ass, but we're dialing it to an 11.
Yes.
And so when she comes through the door with this, it's okay. This is why when we sing a song about it later, it's going to be really impressive.
Yeah. So throughout the beginning of this movie, and I think even towards the end, Stan has this like internal song in his head every time he sees Wendy. There's the girl that I like.
All right.
Over there skating with that. And then and they're in the cafeteria now after they go to the office, and they're in the lunch line, and he looks over and there's the girl that I like.
You're holding up the goddamn lunch line.
Yeah, it was, hey, you're holding up the goddamn lunch line, because you can see them standing there. Like Kyle was in front of him, Stan, and then Cartman behind. Like Stan's looking at Wendy, and then you see Kyle move up. And then after a couple seconds, Eric can't take it anymore. He's like, hey, you're holding up the goddamn lunch line.
Yep. Yeah, it's a great line.
Yeah. Ugh.
The side view of the cutouts.
Yeah.
Head like rolls. Fucking awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that's such good shit.
Sean Logan.
Oh God, yeah.
Every time I see him, that's who I think of.
Yeah. So, and that's also when Chef told him to find the clitoris,
right,
if he wanted to make a girl like him, which I think they teach 5-year-olds that now in schools.
Do they? Oh my God.
Yeah. But anyway, and then Stan goes to the group. He's like, guys, do you know how to find the clitoris? And Cartman's line was great. Do you remember what it was?
Fuck, what did he say?
What is that, like Finding Jesus or something?
Oh yeah. And then in my head, I'm like, well, I mean, kind of.
Yeah, it might feel like a religious experience. So, quite possible. There was a news report, the old midget in a bikini thing, because now they're talking about how parents are getting pissed about this and everything.
Now from a midget in a bikini, which was fucking hilarious.
But that was taken right from the show. One of the first episodes
exactly.
of the show.
That was a kind of a going thing in the show.
Yeah. But anyway, they were talking about Terrence and Phillip, and then they're like, "Oh, Terrence and Phillip is #1 at the box office," and now they've got a hit single on the charts too. When they sing the rap version,
Right.
"Shut your fucking face, Uncle yeah, and if they had the fucking big booty black girls dancing
Right.
in the back. I'm like, I don't think this would go over well today.
No, it's like the Living Color dancers are in the background.
Right. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious. And then we go to.
Uncle Fucker.
Then-
That's UNCLE. Fuck you, Uncle Fucker.
That's when they go to Sheila and the Canadian Minister of Movies or whatever.
Yes.
And they had that back and forth, which was fucking hilarious.
Can I finish? Please, can I finish? Okay, I'm finished.
Yeah. Again, another good timing thing. Yeah.
You are racist. You are racist.
Right.
man.
Because she's like, "Oh, you Canadians are all the same with your beady eyes and your flapping heads."
That is a line that is forever ingrained in any fucking sentence with Canada in it. For me from this point forward. But the most profound line in the entire movie is said during this scene, and it's when the Minister of Movies says, "Well, this movie does have an R rating, and it should not have children because of like." He says straight away, like, "Yeah, no, this is why the movie has an R rating.
Yeah.
Like kids shouldn't see it."
Yeah.
But that's it. Nope. All right, we addressed that.
Right.
And he says it, but we're not going to talk about it again.
Right. Yeah, that was good. And then we have the whole Mr. Mackey song, the okay, which I mean, it's all right. It's not my favorite song in the movie.
Giving hand jobs for cash.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
You will say,
And, well,
it's easy.
and I do like too that like a bunch of the lyrics are curse words.
Yeah.
Instead of fuck saying or poo or whatever.
Instead of ass, say buns.
Yeah, but they're still saying the words as part of the lyrics of the song, which is
Can't say
the.
fuck.
Oh yeah,
Say fuck. You shouldn't say fuck. Fuck no.
right. So you got like 4 fucks right there,
Right.
in that finale.
Oh, which sidebar? They said the word fuck 139 times according to Wikipedia.
Damn.
There was 399 profanities, including 139 uses of fuck, 128 offensive gestures, and 221 acts of violence.
I wonder where the fucks rank on the most fucks in movies. I think Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, I think, is up there. Scarface, and I'm not sure what else. We'll just fucking Google it. Real
Episode 150 of the Sidebar Cantina.
Yeah. Which movies have the most amount of fucks?
In the song Uncle Fucka, fuck is said 31 times. 31. So as we're sidebarring into the word fuck, I don't know that I said the word fuck as many times as I do until I saw this movie.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I can't remember a point before this if my usage of the word fuck was as much as it is now.
Huh.
Like, I don't know what the bell curve looks like of, all right, here's the timeline, and Dave's use of the word fuck, and then the exponential increase of said word. I don't know if it has more to do with my becoming, making the military my career.
Right.
And that
doesn't help either.
The exponent. But I was in maintenance before that. So it's like,
yeah.
And I worked at the airport. So it's like, I mean, fuck has been part of my vernacular for a really long fucking time.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Do you have a list?
I do. First of all, South Park isn't on this. And allegedly, Beavis and Butthead Do America made number 10.
How many times did it say it did it?
Well, it never used fuck, but this is just movies with the most swear words.
Oh, what the... Whatever.
Yeah. Anyway.
Pissed off? I can't even say pissed off.
Well, I'll do some research this week, and we'll come back to that topic. Anyway.
Uncle Fucker, that's UNCLE. Fuck you, Uncle Fucker! Suck my balls.
It's every little thing like that. It just adds up to just this fucking hilarious movie. Okay, so after this, they go to see Terrence and Phillip again, and this is the part where they light the fart on fire.
Right.
And I love it again because him and Kenny are arguing. You know exactly what Kenny's saying. And then, he puts it out and it
then
lights. And then he's like, ha, 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 ha. And then like a half second later, boom. Like just that alone
that
was hilarious.
Because, okay, this is Dave overthinking it, but I think what they were doing was like, okay, they're showing he's a poor kid, right? And he's like polyester clothes, right? So these clothes light on fire. And yeah, between that and then the Cartman with the stick, the stick's on fire.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then, of course, we go to the medical part with Clooney.
Oh, God.
Where, he's the doctor in that one. And I think that was kind of a little... Because, like, he was one of their first supporters. When Trey and Matt had released a couple of shorts, like their very first South Park shorts, and they kind of made the rounds around Hollywood, I guess. I guess in part thanks to George Clooney, which eventually got them the show.
Okay.
So like he had a big part in their success. And also, he was still on ER, or he had just left ER, where he played a doctor. So
that would make sense if he had just left it.
Yeah, I think he'd just left it, well, maybe a year or two before. But anyway, so yeah, that whole thing was fucking hilarious. And then you've got the weird guy running around just screaming, ah! And then of course I love the fucking baked potato. He opens the microwave. Who's making a baked potato? My bad, sir. I missed lunch.
I'm not gonna lose this kid.
Yeah. And then of course he wakes up and...
Oh, and did you catch... You might not have caught it, but like when he says, give him like 70 cc's of sodium pentothal, which is like that's the suicide drug.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yes, sodium pentothal is not a good thing.
Oh god. Well, yeah, because maybe they were just blurting out random shit or intentionally blurting out.
I don't put anything past Trey and Matt.
Yeah.
There's nothing that they're putting in a movie that doesn't have
a specific
purpose.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then of course his heart explodes because they put a baked potato in him.
Kenny, I don't know. And Kenny wakes up, so, oh shit, dude.
And then
you have 3 seconds to live.
Wait a minute, did I not write any notes about Kenny going to hell?
Little boy going to hell.
Yeah, and that was the James Hetfield part. But you're
probably too busy fucking headbanging.
Yeah, well, that whole sequence was awesome, and I'm 99% sure that the demons and shit pulling him in all the different directions and stuff, and even like the George Bush and all that, or not George, the old guy,
Burns,
yes. I think that was all claymation. I'm 90% sure that was like stop motion claymation stuff, because I was really watching it to see if it was that as opposed to like CGI.
See, that's the stuff that I thought was like CGI.
Yeah, and it might have been, I don't know, I could be full of shit, but watching it recently I was like paying attention and it looked like claymation to me.
I watched it on here the last time I watched it, so I may not have been picking up that level of detail.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, after Kenny goes to hell, which was awesome, then we go right into the Blame Canada song, which, by the way, nominated for an Academy Award for Best Song from a Movie.
Was it really?
Yeah. And at the Academy Awards that year, Robin Williams came out and sung the whole song.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I missed all that.
Yeah.
Like, should we blame the matches? Should we blame the fire or the doctors that allowed them to expire? Fuck no! Blame Canada.
Yeah. And again, of course, the most poignant line in that is one of the last ones. We must blame them and cause a fuss before somebody thinks of blaming us. Which is like, again, that's so good.
Dude, I'm telling you, this is probably one of the best musicals we've ever seen.
I think so.
Like, especially from a film perspective.
Yeah, and a lot of these...
It should be right up there.
Yeah, a lot of these songs, too, are like style parodies from either plays or Disney movies. Like, a lot of these are kind of, I wouldn't say ripoffs, but they're like done similarly to kind of go with that same approach. Words.
So you were right. Like, so I'm looking at a list,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't see South Park on here at Oh.
Yeah, the number of fucks, which
Yeah.
makes 0 sense.
But how many did I say? It's
You said 139.
139. This list only goes to 150.
Oh.
So there was 186 movies that had the word fuck in it more times than that. As of today. SwearNet, the movie, had the word fuck in it 935 times.
Jesus Christ.
So it had the word fuck. I almost want to see this
How
movie
long was
now.
this movie?
The runtime was an hour or 112 minutes.
Sweet Jesus.
So is it a fuck 8.35 fuck per minute? Rate.
What was the name of this movie?
SwearNet, the movie.
SwearNet, the movie. Came out in 2014. That's Seth Rogen.
Oh,
Yeah, Seth Rogen's in that.
so there apparently in 2005 there was a documentary
Oh, maybe not.
called Fuck, about the word fuck.
Uh-huh.
That only has a count of 857.
Okay.
So that's a not, but it's only a 93-minute runtime, so that's a 9.21 fuck per minute rate.
Oh, okay.
Wolf of Wall Street is third, has 569.
I believe that. That was a wild fucking movie.
Right, with a 180-minute runtime, so 3.16 fucks per minute.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a lot of fucks.
there's a lot of fucks in there.
So yeah, we're gonna have to. Well, first of all, I'm gonna open the trailer in a new tab and save that for later. But anyway, fuck, we're already at 7, so let's keep it moving. We go to Shelly because now Shelly's in charge of the boys because they got in trouble for seeing the movie again. I love her character. Like, I liked her character in the first couple of seasons, and then she didn't have much of a part in this movie, but just the way she talks, and then I'm going to go listen to my Britney Spears records.
Shelly, where's the clitoris? She takes
And
the
then
fucking chair. Slam!
Oh, it's
Oh
great.
God, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. And again, it shows a great snapshot of where we were at the time because, Britney Spears and the boy bands were like the fucking hotness at this point.
Yeah.
So then we go to Conan O'Brien, Chantal's favorite person.
Yep, Chantal's in the chat.
And he's interviewing them, and so many good lines just in this interview segment.
the one with so I put this on while I was driving down here. Right, so I had it going. I wasn't watching it because I have it visualized in my head.
Oh yeah.
So I had it on the charger, but it was playing over the car. And when Brooke Shields says, "I farted once on Blue Lagoon," and you just hear this like moment of silence.
Yep.
And then slap.
Yep.
And Philip just turns and smacks her.
Yeah, because
Great.
during the silence, they're just sitting there staring at her, blink a couple times.
Yes, fucking great.
What else? Oh, did you know Brent Spiner did the voice of Conan O'Brien? I had no idea.
No idea.
Brent Spiner, the person who plays Data in
yeah.
Next Generation. So I thought that was kind of cool. Oh,
What have I done? Now that you say that, I hear it.
yeah.
Now that you say that, I hear it in that voice.
Yeah. Crazy.
Huh.
And then, of course, everybody shows up to ambush Terrence and Phillip, and then they and then they guilt Conan.
Right. We watched the movie together, Conan. We laughed, or what? What did he say?
Yeah. I don't remember the exact
I
line,
don't know.
but
What have I done?
and then he jumps out the window. This was another one of my most favorite parts of this whole fucking movie. He jumps down, boom, smashes into a car, starts making an alarm noise, and then just a guy sneaks in the camera and leaves.
Just silences it. And the cars smash, but the fucking windshield wipers are still sticking up like this, which I fucking thought was hilarious.
But again, just something so small and subtle that I thought was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Just the guy coming into frame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, anyway,
the South Park standard comedy item right there. Just a little here. Here it is.
And then we go to the UN meeting, which it's the fuck Canada because
right. As you can see here, Canada or Terrence and Phillip is the majority of our income, or whatever it says.
Oh, did you? I only read a couple of the other.
Well, it
ones
said pornography.
it was. It's some bunch of outrageous shit.
Yeah, I actually I don't know if I got past pornography.
Right.
That's one of them.
But yeah, there's like a ton of funny stuff on that one. And yeah, so they're saying, what do you say, Mr. American Ambassador?
There's Justice Ty. Fuck Canada.
Hey, fuck you, buddy.
Again, you can't think of Canada and not think of that.
Oh yeah. Now there was another point. I think it was before, during the TV interview with Sheila and the Canadian minister, where the host of the show is like, "Now, minister, this isn't the first troublesome thing to come out of Canada. Let's not forget Bryan Adams."
No. Canadian government has apologized for Bryan Adams many times.
Which is like they just pulled him out of the blue.
Right. All the random Canadians that are like, somewhat popular.
Yeah. Yeah, we get a little Alanis reference.
Right.
Yeah, good shit. And then we get where they bomb the Baldwins. Right. So yeah, they roll in and they fucking bomb the Baldwin house, which was funny.
This is one of the few things that probably doesn't, like the Baldwins and the Arquettes. When they, spoiler alert, this probably won't. This doesn't hit
right
with the current generation. Like so much of this, I think still is. What's the word I'm looking for?
Well, I think today's generation, like, they probably know, I would imagine most people know who Alec Baldwin is, obviously.
Right. They don't understand, like, why this is relevant.
Yeah, because all four of those brothers were in Hollywood at this time in the 90s.
All doing movies.
Yeah. And very different movies, too. But yeah, so the whole Baldwin brothers was the same thing. And the Arquettes, too, like fucking David Arquette, Patricia Arquette.
Yep.
And their parents, apparently. So, yeah, it was like these two Hollywood families, or two families that were ingrained in Hollywood that most people probably wouldn't know nowadays.
Eat snacky s'mores.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The March of War.
That's fucking great.
And
the
go ahead.
Are we there yet?
Where?
To that part.
Where they bombed them?
Well, no, they just bombed the Baldwins. Oh, okay,
yeah.
No, we're not there yet. No.
And so, yeah, so then the kids all get pulled into the auditorium, and they put on the TV where
we can't yet.
Why?
We can't get to this part yet.
Why?
Because the if not the best, the second best line in this movie is stated.
What did I miss?
Right before this.
And what was it again?
Stan says, why are our moms trying to kill Terrence and Phil?
Oh yeah.
And Mr. Garrison says, your moms are probably on their periods or something.
And then Wendy was offended.
Right. Wendy leans into fucking Gregory, and Gregory's like, we find that remark to be offensive. Like, well, I'm sorry, I just can't trust anything that bleeds for 5 days and doesn't die.
Yep.
that is like, I never heard that before then.
Nope, me either.
But it lives in there forever.
Yes. Yeah, that was a great line. And again, one of those lines that they'd never be able to do today.
Never. But lives up here forever. But it was so casual.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't trust anything that bleeds for 5 days and doesn't die.
Anyway.
Yeah.
It starts out with your mother's made me throw out my
lesson plan.
My lesson plans to teach theirs.
Yeah. So yeah, and then it was immediately after that is when they all got called to the gymnasium. They put on the TV where Bill Clinton, another little piece of that time.
Right. Yeah, the 90s, late 90s, right?
Yep.
And bombing the Baldwins. Oh, here's what I was going to say. So bombing the Baldwins, we had the Baltics, right?
Yes.
So the Baltic stuff was happening. We were obviously affected by that because we had our deployments in the 90s in 99 were direct result. Well, no, my first deployment was because of Saddam Hussein.
Yeah,
in Operation Northern Watch, and then the next one was because of the Bosnia Herzegovina stuff.
Yeah.
So like, and then Clinton was the president during that. So
yeah.
it like has that particular relevance, but we were at a time where war wasn't really a thing in America.
Yeah,
Right.
no.
What it really took me back to was, and when we get to one of my other favorite fucking lines in this movie in a little bit, but this is I don't want to say it's a more innocent time, because when they're looking at soldiers and stuff like that, and they're kind of playing to this, and they're having fun with it, but fast forward after 20 years of war in Afghanistan, like the idea of soldiering is so much different in the eyes of the average American than it was back in those days.
Yeah, because we would be thinking about like Vietnam, World War II, that kind of stuff.
Well, and coming out of the Gulf War, you had this very visceral, like, okay, here it was on Fox News, and there was a handful of Gulf War vets, and everyone was like, all right, yellow ribbons, and like, you knew a handful of Gulf War vets, but it wasn't really like, it was a thing, but it didn't really affect a lot of people. But it was kind of a televised thing that this had happened.
Yeah.
But not like it was. Not like it was 2 years later.
Yeah.
Where
everything changed.
Yeah. That innocence was gone.
Yeah.
To what war really was.
We changed our uniforms to fucking desert uniforms, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
We were wearing the green fatigues for the longest time.
Yeah.
And
and even when we went to the Gulf War, they had the chocolate chips and they had some deserts, but they came back and changed right back into our Cold War uniforms.
Yep.
So anyway, that's just something I thought of, especially when the USO show and thinking and stuff like that. Is like, this is just an innocent time, because we as Americans, we weren't in 2 decades of war,
right?
Like we would be now.
Yeah. So yeah, when they're in the cafeteria and they're making this announcement that they're going to war with Canada, like everybody's reacting like they're gonna kill Terrence and Philip. Oh, Gregory, no, hold me. Oh, this is bad, Wendy. And then Garrison, all the Baldwins are dead.
Yeah, exactly.
I fucking love that.
Garrison, one of the better characters.
Yeah,
in South Park.
And then, of course, we go back to hell, and we've got the whole Satan and Saddam Hussein thing, which,
holy shit,
like, there's so much to unpack with all of that. But
and like, all right, Saddam Hussein. If we look at today's generation watching this movie, obviously not children watching this movie, but like, young adults watching this, probably have an idea who Saddam Hussein is because of Spider-Hole Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
Not this Saddam Hussein.
Right.
Like the one who, fresh after the Gulf War, was still kind of in power. Like was still being a nuisance.
And we were still like, painting him as like this big bad guy. And,
right.
Everybody should hate Saddam.
Right. So painting him in this picture, like his image, flapping head image, doing this crazy shit, like holding a fucking dildo. Hey, come on, don't be all pissy.
Yeah, and all he's trying to do is fuck all the time.
Right. Let's fuck.
Yeah.
I got new luggage to go up to. Let's
celebrate. For our trip up to Earth.
Let's fuck to celebrate.
Oh, and that's probably a reflection on what a lot of younger men like ourselves were like at the time. Like, I fully admit that, I had a one-track brain for a while there.
Oh,
so
sure.
I can't fault him for that, but at the same time, yeah, it was a nice finger point at us.
Yeah.
So anyway. Kyle's mom song. Yeah. So after the Saddam and Satan, we go to the Kyle's mom part when they're on the playground.
Well,
don't you do it.
Well,
I'm warning you, Cartman.
Well, okay, all right. Well, cause my bitch, a big fat bitch, biggest bitch in the whole wide world, just stupid bitch, everywhere was a bitch, all the boys and girls.
And see, that was great because we had seen the Kyle's Mom's a Bitch song in the first season. But it was a very short version, but everybody fucking loved it again, because South Park was a phenomenon at the time. Everybody knew the lyrics to that short song that
Right.
Cartman sang. So now,
This was the extended version.
yes, it's like this big, blown up version of it. One of my favorite parts of this, though, was all of the other kids joining in, like as the background singers.
When you hear it, like la 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 la
Yeah.
la la.
Yeah, they're all singing back. And even Stan's sitting there like bopping along, and Kyle's just sitting there angry.
Bitch, 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 bitch. She's a stupid bitch. Kyle's mom's a bitch, and she's just a dirty bitch. I really mean it, cause mom is a big, fat, ugly man. I really mean it, cause mom. Yeah. Like, it's when I love
the
it.
grand finale.
I love it when he does the jazz hands at the end. Like,
Everybody's just staring, mouth agape. He's like, "What?" And looks behind him and
fuck.
oh, it's so good. Oh, and part of that song too, Cartman did fucking blackface when
I
they
know.
talking to children around the world. They might go something a little like this.
The only reason, this is one of those things where I know that Trey and Matt were just, how do we get Cartman in blackface?
Right.
How can we do it and get away with it? What if we did it like this?
Yeah.
I think we can get away with it. If we
Well,
do it like
I think even back then it was still like frowned upon, but
Sure.
People were doing it still sparingly, but it was happening. But like now, hell no. That would probably be like, honestly, let's say this was a brand new movie that got released today. The biggest fucking problem that all the fucking morons out there on the internet would have is probably the blackface. More than almost anything else. Retard being up there, bleeding for 5 days and doesn't die being up there. But yeah, no, that's probably like the number one thing that people would be, protesting in the streets about.
Yeah, they would definitely take issue with it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I just wanted to bring that up too. And then of course we get the V chip next, where they put the V chip in Cartman.
This is the last straw, where Sheila's like, okay, now I have my test subject.
Yeah, yeah, we know who we're trying this on first. Which was fucking great. Just the whole idea of a V chip. Because for anybody who wasn't around back then, there was a thing called the V chip that they were putting into TVs, I believe
Yes,
it was.
Televisions.
Yeah, you could turn on the V chip and then it would somehow filter out any naughty content when your kids were watching.
Somehow.
Like I never knew anybody that had one, so I have no clue
Either. We had
how accurate it was.
We had pirated cable. I mean, we
did
everything. So it was not
not
a thing at our house.
Yeah, so the V chip was a thing, and it was again because
this V chip out of
it was
me.
parents trying to censor
It has
stuff when it's your fucking kid in your fucking house. Why the fuck do you need to get a chip in the TV to handle business? Like, again, the absentee parents. It's a real thing. Big floppy donkey dick.
No.
Success.
It's like,
the child doesn't want to swear. And then
well, I'm putting them in our kids next week. Like, oh Jesus Christ.
yeah, and then the March of War. The March of War. Which that whole thing was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the thing that lives again in my head rent free is eat snacky s'mores.
Yeah, at the very end. And enjoy the March of War.
Eat snacky s'mores.
Yeah. Which is, again, fucking hilarious. No, but there was one other thing in that thing that I love the line of, too. God damn it. Oh, there was one other good line.
Al and Winona Ryder.
No. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Did I say death camps? I meant happy camps.
Well, that too. That was a throwback to World War II and what we did to the
Obviously.
Japanese. But no, it was fuck. What did I just say it was? Oh yeah, the USO show. So they're talking, and Terrence and Philip are going to be executed at a fabulous USO show.
Yes.
Just so many things that they are just able to slide in there that are fucking hilarious.
My penis is so smooth.
We get the Brian Boitano song,
which I never.
Yeah, it was fun.
This is the one thing I was always like, why?
Yeah,
And then in the middle of it, you got the Brian Dennehy thing. I'm like,
why? Like, I don't think many people, young people back then, knew who Brian Dennehy was. Like maybe, oh, it's that guy from Rambo or whatever.
Oh, that's right. He wasn't Rambo.
Fun fact. I just remembered. You remember Anal Jim that I've talked about before?
Yes.
His dad was in boot camp with Brian Dennehy.
No shit.
When they were both joined I think it was the Army.
Huh.
The Army or Marines. But yeah.
Like in the same squad in boot camp?
Yeah.
That's fucking
like,
crazy.
and he even met up with him years later.
No shit.
To talk about it. But yeah, that was Anal Jim's dad.
Huh.
So, again, weird. But yeah, the song itself wasn't that
I
great.
didn't realize he was in Rambo. I only think of him in Tommy Boy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, he was the fucking the old fat
That's
guy
right.
in Rambo.
Yeah.
Anyway, so one thing I do appreciate, though, is the real Brian Boitano had a real good sense of humor about all this. Like, even going back to when they talked about him in one of the first episodes, and he had a lisp, oh, kids, you shouldn't be thinking about that. And, I saw an interview with him around that time. He was like, yeah, no, it was pretty funny. I don't know why they had to give me a lisp, but whatever. So, yeah, no, he was a good sport about it.
And it doesn't really trash him a whole lot. I mean, especially in this movie, it's like, dude's got superpowers in it, for fuck's sake. So
yeah.
what are you going to do?
Yeah. Then we go to Kyle's hacking of the of the mainframe.
Right.
And essentially, for somebody who's in cybersecurity, I've been working with computers for pretty much all my life.
Ever.
At this point, since about the time I was 14 or 15 years old. It was gibberish. Everything he was saying was gibberish, especially rerouting the encryption. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And again, I think they just picked out random fucking computer words. And
well, remember, this is 99 also. Like,
Yeah.
it's so nobody understood computers at all still.
yeah, they bought them. Like, people were starting to accept them
Yeah.
as a normal household thing. But yeah, nobody knew how to fucking change RAM or
What you did was you called 1-800-GATEWAY or whatever the fuck it was, the number was, and that's how you got a
Yep.
computer. You got a built-to-order computer.
My very first computer that I owned was a Gateway, and I did it that way. I called the number, got the lady on the phone. I'm like, yeah, I saw this computer with these specs. That's the kind of one I want. She's like, okay, we'll have it to you in a couple weeks.
Right. Because that's the job I left to join active duty. I was I built-to-order machines. I did it for businesses, not for home use.
Yeah.
Although we did do some home use stuff for Hewlett Packard.
Yeah.
Hewlett Packard and Compaq, because Compaq had a built to order thing also.
Yeah. But again, this was at the dawn of the internet. Now, I know the internet's been around for a long time, but the dawn of the internet being widely used and, accepted by people. Though I still remember my grandparents saying that the internet is just a fad.
It's
I mean, it's changed the world. The internet has completely changed the entire face of the planet. But
that's facts. I don't know necessarily for the better, but
yeah, that's debatable. So yeah, they're doing that, and then a line comes up where, Cartman's talking to somebody. I can't remember what it was, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm really pissed off." I can't say pissed off.
Well, so Kenny had just come in and told him like, with Saddam Hussein, because they had just had this scene.
Oh yeah. And I love too when we're in hell, like the random pictures that are in the background. Skeet Ulrich was like above the bed. I'm like, why?
Yeah, why? Like there's a butt plug and a fucking It's like with a men's room sign too around the thing. It's just fucking great. Saddam Hussein in his uniform. Like I only could hope that at some point when Saddam had gotten captured, if they could have just put this on, and on the loop, and made him watch it, because he understood English, so he would just play it we're familiar with how you can put shit on in the background and just torture people with it.
Well, no, it's an advanced interrogation technique.
Yeah. Not that he had anything that we wanted. We just wanted the fucking, we wanted him to suffer.
Right.
Like, yeah, look at yourself. I remember when your face looked like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now here's you holding a dildo.
And fucking Satan in the ass.
That's right. Yeah, you like that, don't you, bitch?
And if you really listen, like if you got headphones on, well, even before the ow, you hear, and then he goes, ow. Yeah. So you hear like this real small, quiet.
You can hear it in the car when you're listening to
Oh, God. I should do that someday, and just because it's got to be interesting, because without the visuals to distract you, you really just catch all the dialogue and noises and stuff.
Yeah, and you can't not that you can also watch it, but it is delayed through the Bluetooth, so it's very annoying.
Oh, yeah.
So you're better off. You shouldn't watch it because you shouldn't watch fucking movies and drive.
Right.
That should be the reason.
Yep. Okay.
Not because of a latency issue.
Yeah. Continuing to move on. Now we get Satan's song. The up there is so much room.
Yes.
For babies pop and flowers bloom.
This is when I heard this song again today. When I was listening in the car, it made me really think, like, God damn, this song or this movie as a musical had so many elements that just is like it one of the best musicals you've ever heard.
Absolutely. And the fact that he's supposed to be Satan, the fucking devil, and all this, and he's just singing this song about I want to live up there. I want to live. Yes. I want to live. That fucking finale where he's hitting those high notes.
Right.
Oh, that was the best part of the song. Again, Satan,
Yep. Like
just singing like that.
Like you do. wanting to live amongst us.
Oh, and of course,
in peace and harmony.
When he's walking through hell and he's singing, and the background singers, the people who are all chained up. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Yeah. Well, what's a line he says in the song? He's like, you can't have good without evil. So evil can be good sometimes.
Yeah, but without evil, there can be no good, so it must be good to be evil sometimes.
Yeah, something like that. Like the lyrics in these songs, I mean,
they're brilliant. They're so smart.
Yeah, the lyrics are smart. Like, it's not just something hitting a iambic pentameter. It's just like
except Uncle Fucker, but
well, what are you gonna do with Uncle Fucker?
Yeah,
shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker. Like, I mean,
it's Uncle Fucker. Uncle Fucker.
Well, some of them, the finishes because of. If you listen to it, it goes fucker, but
okay,
it's a lot of fucka.
All right,
got to listen to it more. Listen to it like 5 or 6 more times before you go to bed tonight, and then you'll be waking up like Uncle Fucker.
Yeah, I'll be having dreams about it.
Whoops.
I
want to
live. They start the La Resistance, and when fucking Gregory gets up there and takes Stan's place because Stan can't really form a complete sentence.
We didn't talk about Cartman's mom getting shit on.
Cartman. Oh God.
The Shiza porn.
You and the Shiza. Okie dokie.
Oh, okay. So I had not yet been to Germany.
Right.
When I saw this. So this was kind of over my head when I first saw it. Like the idea of like the Shiza porn.
Yeah.
Like
well, unfortunately, I knew of it. Thank God I never saw any of it. But yeah, I knew it existed. I didn't realize it was a German thing. I just thought it was some sick fucks who got off on some really weird shit.
Yeah, so later in this year, after seeing this, it was one of the first time my first TDYs with the jet.
Yeah.
And it was me and Jimmy Johnson. And fucking Doug Green had us stuck in fucking Stuttgart. This was the low tire incident.
Oh, okay.
And so we're stuck there, and the hotel, instead of being at the really super nice hotel, the Millennium downtown.
Yeah. That's the one we stayed at all the time, right?
Yeah. That turned into the Cop Dorm, which turned into the Dormier, whatever.
Yeah.
No, we're at that fucking airport hotel, the one that has the beds that are as big as this fucking desk.
Oof.
And so, but right next to that was this like 3-story fucking adult warehouse of shit. And in there it had like everything you can think of. Like it was a learning experience going in there.
I couldn't even imagine.
And I saw things in there, and it was right next to a Burger King, by the way. You want to talk about not being disturbed to the point where you don't even want to eat at the place that's next to it.
Yeah.
That was the place. And after being in that building, I understood what was happening in this video.
Yeah. Dude, what the fuck is wrong with German people?
All right. Anyway, I wanted to tell that story because when I saw it again, I was thinking about like Jimmy Johnson and I walking down the aisles of this place because we're just killing time.
Yeah.
I was like, we need to get out of here.
Yes. So yeah, when they're doing the La Resistance stuff
and
and
grocery carts in there. Grocery carts.
Oh God. I guess people buy in bulk there.
Grocery carts.
Ugh. Anyway, so Gregory's up there talking, like making the plans for getting Terrence and Phil about, and Kyle says to Stan, "Wow, Wendy's new boyfriend is really smart."
Wendy's new guy's pretty smart.
Yeah, and then of course Stan's just like sitting there angry faced.
Right.
Okay, then we go to the military briefing. Again, one of the best scenes in the movie.
Yep.
Where,
with one of the best lines ever uttered for an IT person.
Oh yeah. Yeah, where they're doing the presentation. Of course, you got all the people in South Park there in uniform.
Right.
And they start talking about the attacks.
Right.
Operation Blue Team, you will be the all-important first attack wave, named Operation Human Shield.
Yeah, and it's so to paint the scene, if you haven't seen it, it's the all of the African American descent is in one corner of the stands.
Yeah.
And the
rest is all the Caucasian types.
Yes, all around them.
Uh-huh.
So when he says, "Oh, Squadron 5, raise your hands," like you will be a part of the all important first wave.
Yeah, first attack wave. Operation Human Shield.
Right, and then infantry 12 or whatever the fuck. I don't know how Army names their shit. And he's like, you will be Operation Get Behind the Darkies. And it's like, oh shit.
So
it's so funny, but oh my God, it's so wrong.
Yeah,
it's so wrong.
I mean, I can't believe they got away with it back then.
Yeah.
And for God's sakes, don't try it now. But so here's another funny story. Back during this time in '99, I was talking to a coworker of Kristen's at the time. We were like hanging out at his house.
Talking.
Talking.
Oh, his house. All right, never mind.
Yeah. Anyway, and we were talking about the South Park movie. We both fucking loved it. And he told me that he'd gone to see it like 3 or 4 times because he liked going in and just watching the people's reaction in the theater to certain scenes. And that one was one of them. He just liked watching around and just looking to see how people reacted.
That is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
That is fucking brilliant. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have been able to do that at that time.
Yeah.
Because it would have been totally worth it.
Oh, yeah. Because he said, like, some people were just, like, so shocked, and they're just like, I can't believe they said that.
Operation Get Behind the Darkies.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever heard of the Emancipation Proclamation?
Well, I don't listen to hip-hop. I love that fucking line.
God.
Oh,
it's so bad.
Yeah, like this scene, just from start to finish, was just pure gold.
Operation Human Shield, I think, is used probably daily.
Oh yeah.
In some form or another.
Yep. And of course, when he's talking to the Operation Get Behind the Darkies, you will be the second attack wave. You go in and try not to get killed, for God's sakes.
Yes, try not to get killed, for God's sakes. Operation Human Shield will suffer heavy losses.
That's so wrong.
So
fucking wrong. And then, of course, the part that I'm sure you were referencing to,
right,
when the briefing starts to go haywire, right, and he's like, "Oh, fucking Windows 98.
Get Bill Gates in here. You said Windows 98 was going to be faster with better access to the internet. Well, it is faster. Boom!
It just takes out a gun and just pop.
Blows fucking. And look, I think for me, when I first saw this, as somebody who was fresh out of the IT world and having to deal with, we dealt with Windows 98 a lot less because we were doing mostly business machines. So I was still heavily involved in Windows NT at the time. Like I lived and breathed Windows NT for a long time. But we would occasionally get these machines that were fucking putting Windows 98 on. And what a fucking gigantic shit show. Because we were still doing, everything was still hardware. Like all your BIOS, your fucking, like your deconfliction, like all that shit was still being done. Like I'm fucking doing jumper settings, like trying to make shit work. Like trying to get a sound card to work on a machine that fucking had another card on it.
Yeah.
Forget it. Windows 98 was like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
It like, oh my God, so much aggravation.
Yeah, but that's where I really learned to work on computers, to like network computers and stuff like that, was on Windows 98. It was a pain to learn, but I'm glad I learned on that because it made it easier down the road.
I guess so. But yeah, I understood. I felt this so much. Getting it is faster. What?
Yeah, and just their portrayal of Bill Gates was fucking hilarious.
And the denim shirt and everything.
Yeah.
Fucking Windows 98. Get Bill Gates in here.
Yep. And then we go right into the Tomorrow Night song, where it's kind of like the amalgam of everybody, like all singing about tomorrow night, our lives will change.
Tomorrow night, we'll be entertained.
And my favorite line from that was when they go to Terrence and Phillip. Looks like we may be out of luck. Tomorrow night, we're pretty fucked.
Yeah. When did the song turn into a marathon?
Yeah. I want to be up there.
This is the best musical you've probably ever seen. Well, no. It's one of the best musicals you've ever seen in the movies.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. From here, we go back to Satan and Saddam. Satan's reading the book. Satan is from Mars, Saddam is from Venus, which, again, I don't know if that book is still like relevant today, but the men are from Mars, women are from Venus, but that was everywhere in the 90s. I read it in the 90s, and I actually learned some stuff from it, honestly.
Yeah.
And
well, you know who doesn't like that book?
Who?
Women.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it figures a lot of their shit out.
Oh, yeah, we know all.
Yeah, I read it. And I brought some stuff up, like, yeah, this, I understand that, and this. And it was like, that didn't go over well. Like, that was not good. Like, okay, yeah, I see where, I see some of my own faults in that. That makes sense. But then you do this, and this, and that, like, no, I don't. Yeah, you do. Like, a lot, like, all the time. No, I don't. All right, well, never mind.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to read this book then. She didn't. She did not read the book.
Yeah. And again, I don't know if people still read it today. I don't know.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt it because
But
it's like,
at the time, it was super relevant because Kristen and I were still very young in our relationship, but we'd already had a bunch of like arguments and fights and stuff up to that point.
If they rewrote it for like today's sociology, maybe, but I just don't. If I remember parts of the book correctly, I just don't know that it would sit in today's society very well.
But I mean, it wasn't that bad. It was basically saying how men and women like think, and how they,
dude.
What?
You know, even just saying it like we're saying it right now, like as we're stating facts. Like we're solving problems right now.
Right.
We're stating a fact because we know that it'll solve this problem. Like we're doing the thing. We're doing the first part of that thing that it says that we do that they don't like.
Right.
We're doing it. That's what we're doing right now. It says that in the book.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Anyway. So the
this book is really interesting. It says
yeah, and just the conversations between those two. I mean, it's all Saddam trying to fuck, but it's like Satan in like a feminine role,
Right.
You know, even though he's this massive, giant,
Right.
hulking thing of a beast. You know, I'm being serious.
Right, exactly.
So we get to the USO show. We had the mole. The only thing that I thought was funny with the mole is when they got to where the USO show was, fucking the mole looks at his watch and it says third act's ticking clock was what it said on his watch, which, and again, it was a very quick scene. So if you blink, you miss it. But I thought that was funny. A good, like, self-referential thing. Then Sheila Broflowski is given a pep talk to the troops. So, and then whenever you're staring in the beady eyes of that Canadian who's coming at you with his hockey stick or whatever they have, just another funny dig at Canada. That's not really a dig, but it's, again, funny.
It's, yeah.
We
bypassed the Saddam Hussein. I can change.
Ugh, yeah, I never liked that song.
Sandy little butthole.
Yeah. But so anyway, another thing that was funny was when he was talking to Cartman, he's like, "You have to shut off the alarms. You must shut off the fucking alarms. I hate fucking guard dogs.
I hate fucking guard dogs."
And Cartman's walking, he's like, "I heard you the first time, you British piece of shit." And that was a running joke too. Every time he would curse, he gets it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Just even a small shock. Just, yeah. There it is.
And it just added
didn't miss any.
Another layer to the jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. Okay, so yeah, Winona Ryder and her famous ping pong ball trick.
Right.
At this point, I already knew about the ping pong shows. You know, people talk, and I was in the military for a few years at this point.
Right.
So, so I knew all about the ping pong shows. Never seen one myself to this day, thankfully. So when she does that, when she sits down and opens her fucking legs, I'm like, what the fuck? Are they really gonna do this?
I think when I first saw this, I'm like, oh, they're gonna expose the clitoris thing. This is how they're gonna get to the clitoris thing.
Right.
They're gonna use Winona Ryder's Big Brown Beaver or something. Like there was gonna be some tie into that.
Right.
Which they didn't do.
No.
Like,
and then, of course, it was just her hitting a ping pong. But, I mean, obviously the way they set it up was supposed to look like.
Right, exactly.
You know.
They're all sitting there dumbfounded.
Yeah, and then they're all like, mouth agape.
The ping pongs are bouncing off their head, which anybody who's familiar knows that you don't want any of those things to touch you.
Oh, God, no.
As they're bouncing off their head. Not a good thing. Not good at all.
Yeah. So fucking the mole sneaks in, grabs Terrence and Phillip, gets chased out by dogs. Apparently the dog attack was enough to kill him. I don't know how serious his death was.
Shit.
Yeah, but you know,
fucking guard dogs.
But his line as he's dying is, "Where's your God now? Where's your stupid faggot right now when you need him?" I'm like, ooh, man, that was another one that
his initial thing with God, he is
the biggest bitch of them all.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like his thing against God was like profound.
Yeah. Well, I was more focused on the F word that he called God.
Well, I mean, let's see. I think we get the word faggot like 3 times. I think.
Do we?
Yeah.
Were they all from him?
No, because in way earlier, in Mr. Mackey's thing while they're in the rehab, when Gregory's like, "I don't belong here with these rogues," right?
Yeah.
Cartman goes, "You're a fucking faggot, dude."
I forgot about that.
It's look, as a child of the that era, that is how that word was used.
Oh God, yes. Yeah, no, we flung out fag and faggot.
Yeah, you're
hundreds of times during the school day.
Like, you're a fucking faggot, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's how that would have been said.
Yeah.
And the epic, perfect timing of said statement.
Yep.
So there was 2. I'm almost positive there was another use of it. I just don't remember where it was.
Okay. So yeah, he dies, and again another good timing thing. And before that, the anonymous who was supposed to flip the switch, Mr. Garrison, which was
with Mr. Hat on, without a blindfold,
right? Which I thought he should have had like a hood over Mr. Hat too.
But usually he does. Usually when he's wearing something, Mr. Hat's also dressed up.
Yeah,
but just not this time.
Yeah. sad little detail they must have missed. But yeah, then we get to Stan finds the clitoris.
Right.
Oh,
it's the clitoris.
Yeah. And then we actually, Canada comes in and bombs, and then our army like starts going with their plan. Okay, everybody, Operation Human Shield in front. Don't forget Human Shield. Protect our planes and tanks too.
They're like,
it's literally just black guys strapped to the side.
tied to the fucking tanks and planes.
Oh,
how do you get how there was. I guess it's good that I feel like I'm doing something wrong even watching it now.
right.
I'm just like, oh my fucking God. I'm like, hey, we're watching this for historical purposes.
Sure.
Like, God.
But yeah, again, would not fly today at all.
Oh God. Oh, it's
it'd be called the most racist movie in history.
well, I mean, maybe.
Yeah. So anyway, but again, it was all in good fun, and of course the Black Squadron got the last laugh when they all got out of the way just as the missiles were coming. Operation Human Shield my ass.
My penis is so smooth.
We missed we had with the Big Gay Al distraction. I saw Big Gay Al.
Oh yeah, that song.
My penis is so smooth.
Well, yeah, we see the dick. Way to make everybody in the theater uncomfortable, showing Big Gay Al's dick like front and center. Like, oh, great, and it was so small.
My penis is so smooth.
There's the clitoris,
and maybe that's their dig at white people also.
Maybe, or just Big Gay Al in particular.
Yeah. So yeah, now we've got the big whole full-blown war going on, right? Bombs going off, people shooting each other, people dying, and Stan runs up to Kyle and Cartman, who were in a bunker, who were like, down in a trench, and he's like, guys, I finally found the clitoris, so now I think I can get Wendy to like me again. And so their responses was, oh, that's really swell, Stan. Yeah, I guess all's well that ends well, and we can go home now. Dipshit.
Yeah. What it was perfect. Great self-facing line. Oh, here it is. Oh no, I lost it. Damn it. No, I'm trying to get an image of protect our tanks and planes.
Oh God. Yeah, it's bad.
Just for historical purposes.
Sure, of course. Then we move towards the end where they kill Terrence and Phillip. Blood spills on the water. Satan and fucking Saddam show up, and
you're all fucked now.
That was a good line. And Cartman's V chip has been malfunctioning since he like turned off the fucking power to stop Terrence and Phillip from frying. And now it's to the point where he's basically the Emperor now.
That's right. He's Emperor Palpatine now.
Yeah, because we get this whole fucking Return of the Jedi moment at this point because he realizes that saying shit, fuck, and all that makes him shoot lightning. So, he puts it all towards Saddam, right? And he's fucking shocking him with all kinds of strange, weird fucking curse words and stuff like that. Barbara Streisand. And, he's down on the rock, like shaking, Satan, help me. And he calls him, like a cum guzzling twat or something. Right. Get me out of this. And, finally Satan has the, I have had enough of you. And he picks him up and, oh God. Remember, Human Shield, protect our planes and tanks too.
Stars and bars with a pilot. Thumbs up.
Yeah. But, I mean, there was no way they didn't take this from Return of the Jedi. As he's shocking him and fucking Satan lifts him up and throws him into the cavern.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, and then Kinney makes the sacrifice, says that he'll go back to hell if everything goes back to normal. And then Satan finds Mr. Hat.
Right.
Because the kids had him and they threw him away. Mr. Hat, no! And then Satan finds him. And he's like, oh, hey, little guy. Right. Would you like to come to hell with me? Oh, yes, Mr. Satan, I really would. So he said it in the Mr. Garrison accent.
Right.
And everything for Mr. Hat.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, we all know Mr. Hat is like the epitome of evil. I mean, he's
yeah. And then the final shot of the whole movie is Kinney actually going to hell now after they sing the wrap up song, and they look up and they see like Kenny shooting up into the sky, and he finally goes to his heaven, which is naked women and boobs all over
Bunch
the
of
place.
boobs.
Which, again, that probably would have been my heaven at the time too.
Yeah.
So can't really fault him for that. But that's it. That's the movie in a nutshell.
Right. And there is, at the end of the credits, there is a short thing with Ike. There's a short scene with
was
Ike.
he still like in the?
He was still up in the attic.
Yeah. Okay.
Which again, you lose the Sheila Broflovsky with this fucking, hey, you have an adopted son that's Canadian.
Yeah.
Throughout this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just, oh god.
Yeah. This movie was a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah.
It really was.
It's a tremendous musical.
Yeah.
Because all the musical acts, none of it's done, like, aside from Uncle Fucker, which was obviously, it had to have been done.
But it served its purpose in the movie.
Right. It had a plot point that reason was done. But all the musical elements were all done with the appropriate timing, like the length of it, everything. It's just really well put together for something. And the animation's so crappy.
Yeah.
Right. It had so many really, really good elements.
Yeah. And it just goes to show, it doesn't matter what kind of animation or effects you have. Like, if you have a good script, good dialogue, and people that can act it out well and deliver and their timing.
Right.
You get a fantastic movie. And then, the songs too. Even though the songs are like parodies and they're like silly, they're still so smart when you listen to the lyrics and how they fall into the story and everything. It's just like, I got to say, this is probably peak Matt and Trey. Like, they did a lot of good stuff after this too, but
this is really good. This is really good. You haven't seen Book of Mormon?
No.
It's really good.
Did they ever make a movie out of that?
I don't know if they did.
They should. Well, probably get the PC police going after him.
Yeah, I don't think it would fly. And I know it was really good.
Yeah.
There's a reason they won a Tony Award for it.
Yeah. So,
story notwithstanding, for those who don't abide by it because it's offensive to them.
Yeah.
But
all right, so let's wrap it up though. Do you have any last words to say about the movie?
No, I think this was their introduction to, hey, we want to write musicals.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately what they did. Because even Team America had those elements too, which I can't wait to fucking do Team America.
Is that coming up on an anniversary?
It should be.
When did that come out? 2000? 2001 maybe?
It was after 2001 because it was after
9/11.
After.
Okay. Because it was
otherwise it wouldn't have been relevant.
We were killing Arabs left and right.
Right.
So
allegedly.
Yeah.
No, it was fucking and it hit. Honestly, it was good today. Except for a couple of small elements, but for a movie that was made in 1999, it was still fucking super watchable and still funny.
Yep, absolutely. So, all right, let's wrap this up. Our next topic, I think, is still the music of '99, right?
Yes.
Okay, and I don't think we're doing it. Well, we'll have a conversation with Luna Girl first before we start talking about our extended schedule.
All right.
But our next topic should be the music of '99, if I'm not mistaken.
94.
9.
Yeah. And that being said, you got any reads?
I will go through the reads very quickly. Stranger Things Happen will be live tomorrow night with their review of Season 4, Chapter 6 of The Ninja Project. Join Snooch and LG on their watch journey on their new day and time every other Tuesday at 17:30, 5:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. The ATSW, The Escape Pod, will be freeballing this Wednesday. Catch Don, Brady, and DB live at 19:05, 7:05 Eastern on YouTube this Wednesday. I don't know if I said that. Scott and Kim over at Used and Abused will be up bright and early on Thursday with their racing recap from this past weekend. Catch them at 0500, 5 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on the YouTube. God, I don't know how they do it so early. That's what she said. Layman and Layman released Back to School, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark last week. Check it out, and please give a follow to Layman and Layman on YouTube. Lunar Girl, post a new link. Please give them some subs. They only have 9.
9.
9 times. 9 times. Swede has been sweeting all over his studio, including this one, as he was here earlier, wrapping up a tool cover and starting a cover with the new Linkin Park single, The Emptiness Machine. He actually needs your help. He is looking for a female vocalist to join him on the song. If you're a badass rocker chick who can wail, this message is for you. Oh, maybe Hennifer should show. If you
That would be fantastic.
If you want to be the Emily Armstrong to Swede's Mike Shinoda, DM Luna Girl ASAP on any of our Sidebar socials so she can give you the deets on how to apply. Nothing new released this past week from Orange Fett Show. Find them on Apple and Spotify. Shout out to ATSW Escape Pod Gaming. Check out all the glorious gaming highlights and epic fails at atsw.escapepod.g on TikTok. TikTok's the devil. You can find us at bio.link/sidebarcantina, where you can find our links to Patreon, YouTube, our audio podcast on Apple, Audible, and Spotify, and all social media platforms, including X, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, and Discord. Once you get to the bio link, simply click the symbols on our pick to your platform of choice. You can also find all of our past Spotify mixtape playlists. Also in our bio link is our TeePublic merch shop. Choose from 7 designs on everything from t-shirts and hoodies, tote bags, phone cases, exclusive stickers, pins, wallets, magnets, notebooks, laptop cases, pillows, and just about anything you can imagine. Nothing says love on like a naked Jason chick on a pillow. Go to bio.link/thesidebarcantina and click merch. Reviews?
No reviews. We haven't gotten a new review since January. That's unacceptable.
It's upsetting.
Yeah.
Please, pretty please, with sugar on it. Write us a 5-star review. I just mentally. Please write us a 5-star review on Apple or Audible. Don't have an Apple or Audible account? Our Facebook page has a review feature too. Just screenshot your review before you hit done and DM us a pic on Instagram or Twitter with your name and address, so Luna Girl can send you a super cool ATSW family swag pack. This is a chance to tell us your thoughts on the show. Jason or Hennifer Lopez or Hank or Edith or Mama or Drunk Tom Bocall or somebody fun will read your review word for word on our next episode. Let us know who you want to read it. Finally, if you catch us on Spotify, help us out. Click those stars. And if you click those stars, do a screenshot of that too. Why the hell not? It all counts. If you're listening to us on audio, please consider joining us in the live chat on Mondays. The chat is most definitely where it's at. I missed all of the chat today. If you are new to Sidebar, please subscribe, ding that bell, select all to receive notifications on when we go live. Remember to smash that like button. It really helps us out. Thank you to all our Patreon supporters. You are the reason why we do this. And last but not least, yeah, I got nothing.
All right. Well, thank you, all you donkey raping shit eaters out there who stayed with us for the whole thing. Son of a bitch.
What? Oh my God.
Sorry.
What the hell was that?
That was actually the trailer for that SwearNet movie.
Fuckity fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you for joining us.
Before we leave, Orange Fett Show just did King Kong Escapes. So get the get on all of the things. This is the Orange Fett Show, Apple and Spotify.
Okay. Until next time, guys, Dave and everybody else, don't forget, blame Canada.
Blame Canada. Go Birds.